Very. Audio check. Testing,
I
testing,
can hear
testing.
you. Turn up my volume a little bit.
Testing, testing, testing. Should I turn up my microphone sensitivity?
You might turn it up a notch. We'll see when somebody else connects.
All right.
If anybody else connects.
We do that. Audio settings. Microphone. Okay, testing, testing, testing. How's it now?
It's fine. We'll see when somebody else connects. We'll see if it's balanced.
All right.
Fair and balanced.
I actually have an experiment to conduct because I was trying to do it before the session. It's not succeeding, so I thought I'd see whether or not it was interesting to you.
Okay.
Remember this website I found about 2 or 3 weeks ago that could take a YouTube video, analyze the transcript and speakers and words, et cetera, and build a knowledge graph that you could then interrogate?
You talked about it. I didn't know it was actually a website, but okay.
It's a website as well as a downloadable application. So I
Oh,
signed up for the service because it turns out for the last 2 weeks, the reason I haven't done it is because every time I come to this, you got to pay €9 per month or €90 per year. I balk and then I go do something else. So this morning, I actually signed up for the €90 per year option, but intend to really evaluate it because it's got a 14-day free evaluation period. So I just signed up like 10 minutes ago.
I see.
And I tried to import one of our videos where you and I got a little bit heated, but it said cannot import video. Okay, so I tried importing a playlist, which is the GCC public playlist. And again, it's having problems with it. So
Well, then don't buy it if it doesn't work.
yeah, if it continues, well, see, the videos are 500 videos. So I thought I'd give it a chance to import the 500, see how many errors it comes up with, see if it's still usable. Okay.
500?
Hey, we've
That's
been going for a
that's
while, Barry.
1,000 hours.
We've been going for a while, Barry.
That's 1,000 hours. That's a lot of time to
And
process.
that's only the public videos. Okay. There's probably about 300 others.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So anyway, there was no hope that any human, any individual would go through and mine all of that crap, right?
No way.
I was always doing this precisely waiting for an app like this, which you go in and spend all that time. And if it does it, €90 is a deal, right?
Yeah, but they ain't gonna do 1,000 hours for €90. That doesn't make sense.
I'll find out how much it does.
That seems a little awfully cheap for 1,000 hours of processing.
Basic is €9 a month, €90 a year. Then they have a €27 a month version with the equivalent annual price. So I'll see if that limitation is what it's balking about. So
I'm gonna predict that it's a no worky.
could be. In which case I'll fire off some unsatisfied customer feedback to the company and see what they do about it.
You know, an unserved customer.
Well, they have a number of videos on YouTube. And in fact, here, where can I find this thing here? Okay, let me search for InfraNodus. Because I think I've shared it with you before, but let me do this again. Privacy policy, text network analysis, terms and conditions. I don't want that. Okay, I want to go to YouTube and look for that. And look for InfraNodus. And I think I can look for it. Okay, here we go. So let me send you the link again, just for the record. Share, copy link. I'm going to put it into the chat here. Here's my chat. Too many windows. Okay, here we go. There it is. Okay, there is the chat. So that's the video that inspired me to sign up for this and see what it can do for us.
Let me see if
that's a link to a video that shows you what it can do with a YouTube video. Okay, and it happens to work on a Lex Fridman video blog. So it's a good demo.
Hello everyone. In this video,
Just we turn the volume down and play it a bit.
Yeah.
Oh boy, how can it possibly process that Mandela chart? That's ridiculous. It's got an infinite number of links in it.
It's not infinite, as you know.
Well,
A
for
lot.
for my brain, that's infinite.
Yeah. Remember the old counting system? 1, 2, many?
Yeah, infinity.
Many.
1, 2, 3, infinity. That was George Gamow, 1, 2, 3, infinity. Are you old enough to remember that? Probably not.
I remembered it incorrectly. I remembered it as 1, 2, infinity. It could be 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
infinity.
George Gamow in the 1950s, I think, 1, 2, 3, infinity. He wrote a small book, which I don't think I actually ever read. Or if I did, I certainly don't recall the content. But oh, look who's here. Zoom user.
Okay, so anyway, that was a failed attempt. So I was trying to do that homework prior to this particular video. And if you want, we could try it in real time. But again, I've been trying to get this thing working now for a while. So I finally forked over to 90 euros, but I'm going to be dissatisfied if it keeps barfing.
Oh, well. Didn't know what to tell you.
So let me turn on AI Companion and start my summary. What else do I need to do here? I used to get a nice email from Zoom, anywhere from an hour or two after the session ended, with a nice summary of 5 or 6 key points that were in the video, amount to maybe like 5,000 words, 5,000 characters, I mean. But I don't get that anymore. So
Really?
I'm trying to figure out how to set that up.
Oh, couldn't tell you. I noticed one thing this morning, that on the YouTube splash page where you see just a bunch of proposed things to look at, now if I mouse over one of the thumbnails, it actually plays it with audio, at least most of it.
Yeah.
That I didn't see that before today.
Well, sometimes it's irritating too,
It used to play it, sometimes it would play it with captions, but now it's playing it with audio. Although not everyone plays. I think if there's music in it, maybe it doesn't. I don't quite know.
Yeah. There's got to be a setting that says turn it
Something,
on.
hang on a second. Heiner just posted something in Messenger. Let me see if he is looking for us. Where are we? Okay, let me get to him and tell him where we are. Got to get the linky thingy here.
I'm curious about Heiner because we're always in the same place every time now. It's been that way for quite a long time.
I know, but he can't remember. Let's see. Oh, they moved it. It's on the right side now. The little thingy. All right.
Oh, hey, is Sam here? No, that was an old video.
Let me go back to where are we? I'll go back and give him the link. Okay. Let's see if that works for him. I noticed that the little shield is now on the right side, up where the view is, and the recording's also, they moved everything to the right. Huh.
Depends on what version you've got. The shield, the green shield with the check mark, for me, it's still up in the upper left.
Oh, well, for me, it's up on the right. I never saw it on the right before today. Let me see if he types something else. He says, I tried already. Well, then I'll give him the other link. I'll give him the.
Here, I'll copy paste what I got here. You can send him that if that works.
Well, that's what I just sent him. What you just typed is what I just sent him.
Okay, well, that's what
Let me try the other one. Let me try the one that's the. Wait a second. Where's the one that's the complete? Huh. It's different now.
All right.
Well, that's what I sent him. He says he tried that and it didn't work. Well, I don't know what to tell him now because let me see what else.
Is it in the GCC chat where he's posting? Let me double check.
No, it's in a PM just to me only.
Oh, okay. All right. That's
let me try a search.
Heiner's there. It worked.
Oh, he's there now. Okay. Now he's got it. Okay.
Yeah, it did work.
Now I want to see if the speech to text can translate from German. So now, Heiner, if you talk to us in a whole paragraph in German, let's see if the speech to text translates for me to English.
Give me a minute. Kümmerten sich ihre Läden, bevor es passierte.
Taking care of business. And
Danach ist das Wichtigste verloren gegangen,
like after that happened, I think
die
one of
Hoffnung.
the greatest things that was lost is that sense
No,
of
it's trying to translate into English and it's not doing a good job.
Denkt man schließlich, das kann ich auch.
think to yourself, I
So it
can do
needs to
that.
assume a language for this session before it can actually do a good job translating.
Well, he was playing back a conversation which was half in German and half in English
Yeah.
with somebody. I don't know who the other party
I
was.
didn't play anything back. I asked you to give me 1 minute. I have to close a few windows.
Well, you were playing the other window. we heard the audio from the other window you were playing.
Yes.
That's because he had his mic open and his speakers to his mic.
Yep. Anyway, so that's disappointment number one, is I couldn't get that YouTube video analysis thing working before this session.
Well, hopefully you can count one too many for disappointment.
Okay, here's the second disappointment. Eric sent around he's not available for the next several
Yeah, I
weeks.
saw that. I saw it, but he sent a video.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, Heiner, what's on your
Yeah.
mind?
and I'm speaking in English or in German?
I want you to speak a paragraph worth of German so we can see if the Zoom can translate your German into English text.
We already know what's going to happen there.
Yes, please try that.
Guten Morgen.
Wer Grenzen denkend setzt, die wirklich nicht vorhanden, und dann hinweg sie denkt, der hat die Welt verstanden. So wie Geometrie in ihren Liniennetzen, so fängt sich auch das Denken in Gesetzen. Verständlich macht man uns die Welt durch Länderkarten, doch müssen wir des Geistes Sternenkarten noch erwarten. Full stop.
No,
Still thinking
it did basically, it was phonetic. It didn't translate. Evidently that feature doesn't know that you're talking in German because it tried to produce it in English.
Well, you see, it just prompts me, confirm the spoken language, and it's
Oh.
set on English.
Oh,
And if I set it on German, just a moment, we try again.
Okay.
So I have now put it on my language setting German.
Okay.
And again, I give you this
Paragraph.
this poem because it's very important for me to get it translated.
Okay.
So, wer Grenzen denkend setzt, die wirklich nicht vorhanden, und dann hinweg sie denkt, der hat die Welt verstanden. So wie Geometrie in ihren Liniennetzen, so fängt sich auch das Denken in Gesetzen. Verständlich macht man uns durch die Welt durch Länderkarten, doch müssen wir des Geistes Sternenkarten noch erwarten. Friedrich Rückert, Weisheit der Brahmanen, Wisdom of the Brahmins.
It transliterated again. It didn't
So
translate.
for me, it actually gave me the actual German. It gave me German words in the
Yeah.
option.
Can you share it with me, Sam?
Oh, you would have had to have
it
transcript
scrolls
on.
past. I don't know how I can scroll back to the
You
caption.
can't. You needed to have transcript on, which I don't have transcript window up. I only had the chat window up. Not the chat window, the caption window. There's chat, caption, and transcript. They're three different things. If you put up
Let me check
transcript, then you can scroll it back.
Oh, look at this. I checked on translated captions and it wants another $50 a year to turn that on.
Oh, it's not a freebie.
It's
Okay.
not free.
All right, that explains why it doesn't work.
Right. So It'll be $54.40 if I want to turn that on for the year.
Forget it. I was misled because it asks you what language you want. You think, okay, if I choose to translate to English, it'll translate, but no.
Hey, if it makes Heiner happy, it's probably worth 50 bucks a year for me. So if Heiner ends up coming
Well,
regularly, I'll do it.
we need to make Farah happy. She cannot move her muscles anymore, and she's a professional translator. So she's translating books from English into German, and then she wants to now speak freely and then have it transcribed, voice to text. And Jörg tells me the best is Apple, but then you need a full version of Word, which we don't have. So maybe there is another transcription. Anyway, this is one of my minor concerns. My bigger concerns is I have to run now again to the hospital, but I promised yesterday to at least show up and say hello.
Hello.
Wer sind Farah?
Guten Tag.
Where is Farah?
Wer sind Farah?
She's in the hospital.
Wer is who?
Farah,
Right?
Farah is a first name.
Yeah. I don't know anyone named Farah. Who is Farah?
Oh, Farah Diva. You heard about Farah Diva. And the woman has taken on that name. Her Greek name is Chariklia. It means the same like Farah. And her German first name is Heike.
Wait,
Like
is this someone you
Heiner?
know personally?
Heike. Please?
You know this person personally? Directly?
Yes, I'm now running to the hospital again.
Barry, do you recall this name? I might have missed something.
Well, I mean, he mentioned her name first a few weeks ago and then again in chat yesterday. So I've
Well,
seen
at my
the name.
birthday or whatever, I'm working with her since 30 years.
But I don't think I've ever seen her on
Oh,
video.
you have seen her
I have.
at my
Okay.
birthday
A month
Zoom
ago, maybe?
party 3 years ago, or in one or two of the events, but I'm not showing her around.
Yeah. Well, maybe many years, months ago or something, but I never get to recognize or know her.
She has been publishing a lot on our dialogue methods and peace and cultural civilizations.
Yeah.
She is translating many books from the Sufi schools, Sufism.
Okay. Maybe if I saw a video, I would recollect it.
Yes, we have some videos with her mentioned. Anyway, this is not important. I'm so happy that you're still keeping trucking on the weekends, even when there's so many important things to be done. So please continue. I'm looking
Heiner,
for good
Heiner,
translation and transcription from voice to text. And maybe there's something free even for German-speaking people.
Hey, Heiner, before you go, one conversation we recently had with Eric is focused on December 9th, 2028. Okay, that's 4 years from now. That will be the 60th anniversary of Doug Engelbart's Mother of All Demos. So Eric and I at least have a thought about putting something together for that day, and we have about 4 years to prepare.
That's Doug.
Well, it's a day after my birthday, so I can remember in 4 years.
Okay. All right. We'll see. I mean, we have to.
No, that would be a very nice idea. Remembering lots of people like Peter and many others we came across. So keep me in the loop with that. And I will send you a video where you can see Farah if you want. But it's not really important. She's a bookworm and in her language and religious studies.
What's the prognosis?
Pardon?
What's the prognosis for Farah?
Well, it's still all not clear. She had very high inflammation. It was a push of rheumatics and many other things could be involved. She's struggling with bad health since I know her. So anyway, it's presently very serious. We brought her through emergency into the hospital 2 nights ago. And I'm really busy the last days and weeks. So, excuse me, I'm not looking well. And I just wanted to say hello.
Hello.
Please convey
Okay,
our
bye-bye.
thoughts. Best wishes.
So spoken language is still a very challenging information processing task for both Homo sapiens and machines equally. So even on the BBC, sometimes they have a guest for the hour, and sometimes the guest for the hour, you just can't make out what they're saying. One was a
Those
professor.
visits are often so brief that the visitor often has no chance to even convey a coherent thought. You know, sometimes
Well,
those interviewers are pandering to the audience. They've got their predetermined notions of, you know, what the conversation is going to be about. There are many such limitations.
yeah. There was a professor from one of the UK universities who was the guest for 2 hours on one of the BBC overnight and US overnight shows. And every time the guy came on to talk, I could barely make out what he was saying, even though he's speaking British English, but he was speaking very fast and slurring the keywords of the sentence. He was slurring the keywords.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what he was talking about.
That's why one of the more interesting people to listen to is Lex Friedman. He actually goes in for quite a long conversation with some of his guests. And he asks, you know, questions that come to mind. It's not just a scripted set of questions.
Right.
And he'll explore new things.
Yeah.
And they'll, you know, share random thoughts. So he's one of the ones that's actually kind of fun to listen to. But it takes a while. I mean, he has
2 hour long, 2 hour long podcast. Come on.
Exactly.
Too much information in too short a time.
Well, you know, some people are worth it.
Yeah. I could listen to Feynman talk. I mean, he has these sessions of oral communication. I can listen to him indefinitely.
You know, I recently refound a whole series of his lectures, and man, that's one of the things I want to, you know, do periodically, and because I never actually listened to more than like 2 or 3 of them ever in my past, in their entirety, you know, and there's so many that I could learn a lot just by going through them again.
He's really good.
Sagan too. I'd like to rewatch his whole Cosmos series.
Sagan is fabulous.
Jacob Bronowski also. Do you remember Jacob Bronowski, that name?
Yeah, actually, yeah, there were some good videos. It's been a long time since I've seen his videos, but he did The Ascent of Man on PBS. It must have been 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah, and it was excellent. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen this stuff on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's available on YouTube. A lot of PBS stuff is not up on YouTube.
Although on the other flip side, there's an astonishing amount of things on YouTube. So I haven't searched, but you know, it'd be worthwhile searching for some of that.
Yeah, I listened to most of Sabina Hassenfelder's stuff and a few others, but Grant Sanderson is fabulous. He's the math guy.
Hey, thanks for watching that spinner video yesterday.
That was a tough video to, I was
It is,
really
isn't
too
it?
much.
It's
was-
really, I mean, I still have to watch it again and still see what it's really saying. You
It's
know?
way too, it's very deep in the math and not easy to absorb.
But
And
you know
even
what?
at the end, he says it's really hard to understand at the deepest level
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and it's one of the very, very few applications of topology I'm actually aware of.
Hmm.
And it's done
Wow.
really well. It's
Yeah.
really done well. You know, if it weren't for those animations, it'd be like 10% as understandable as it is right now.
That's what I like about Grant Sanderson. He has fabulous animations to present the mathematical ideas, especially when he does some stuff in complex spaces, Riemann stuff and all that.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to get it any other way.
But you know, he says it's foundational to modern physics, and yet I've gone this long until I encountered that word spinner yesterday. Now you had been familiar with that word before.
Yeah,
But
well,
man,
that's because I really puzzled over what the hell spin 1/2 means. And I finally began to get some hints from
But does it make
Feynman.
sense now? Does it make sense now, given, I mean, it's not completely 100% understandable on first watch, but doesn't it actually fill in some gaps, you know?
Well,
Given,
it tells me that it's deeper than my understanding that I had was pretty shallow. And I'm not sure if I got any deeper understanding, but I appreciate that there is a deep mathematics to it
Right.
that's like
Right.
the SU3 and SO2.
right.
I still
Well, your
don't get
winding number was something like 2, right? At least now you sort of map it to this winding number concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the basically get that notion. But yeah, I'd have to spend probably a year on that stuff before I really got my brain around it, which probably unlikely to ever happen.
I don't think I'll do that, but I'll at least watch it twice.
But I do get the notion that if you're I mean, the simplest example was the Frisbee that's rotating, but it's also wobbling. And the wobble frequency is 1/2 the spin frequency. That's easy to understand.
And that's also translatable to dance. That's why, you know, Caleb could
Oh, yeah.
probably get that.
I mean, if you're moving your arms at 1/2 the speed of your feet or twice the speed of your feet, yeah, you can see that it would take 2 cycles of the fastest one to get back to the same state.
Yeah.
And that's easy to appreciate.
Yeah.
What is Nodus? Nodus?
The application that analyzes YouTube videos that I
That's
just
the name of
signed
the
on to, that is called InfraNodus.
Okay. I
So
didn't grok the
I'm going
Nodus.
to try and see if I can get some value out of it. If it does, I'll gladly pay the guy 90 bucks a year, 90 euros a year. So
I don't know what to
like I
tell
said, this is my third attempt to try and use it.
you. Yeah. Oh, well. I tend to, I used to, when I was much younger, I was much more intrigued by what today is called clickbait. And now I don't even bother. I just know that it's going to be a very disappointing. It's not going to live up to its expectations. And I'm much more likely just to not to respond to something that's intriguing or cute or whatever, because it's going to, I know it's going to be a disappointment.
Very signal to noise. Signal to noise. You got to live with, you know, a realistic ratio of signal to noise.
Yeah.
If you expect signal to noise to be, you know, 100 to 1, that's unrealistic.
The one
noise is
signal
more
to
like
noise
1 to
case,
100.
the one signal to noise case that I thought was intriguing was Melania Trump's sartorial choices, that she was choosing costumery that signaled messages that only women's wear daily could decode. For
Well, she was
example,
even more obvious and blatant than that when she was visiting certain locations. She had actual writing on her clothing that mocked the event that she was attending. God, what are the details of that?
oh, well, there was this Zora jacket.
Yes,
the Zora
yes,
jacket. When
yes,
she went to
yes.
the border,
Yes.
it was a lyric from a Demi Lovato song. Demi Lovato had a song that was basically that lyric. In fact, that's where the jacket came from. The jacket was the Demi Lovato lyric jacket, and you had to go back and find the video.
Yeah, but when you attend an event and you have such explicit verbiage on your clothing, you're definitely aware of the message you're sending, right?
Oh yeah, right. The "I don't really care."
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't give a fuck.
some variation of "I don't really care." I can't remember exactly the exact wording of it, but it's from a Demi Lovato breakup song. She has a
It
breakup
doesn't
song.
even matter. For people like me who don't make that association, it still sends a message, and it's a strong message.
But when she wore the dress to the debate, the pussy bow, there's a great big bow on her front of her dress, and the formal name, the actual name of it is the pussy bow, and that was the
That was
debate.
after he was talking about
That was the
grabbing
debate
women by
2
the
days
pussy.
later and then
Yeah.
and then she wore the yellow dress in the Putin talk in what Finland, I think it was in, and she had a great big butterfly belt, gigantic butterfly shaped belt buckle. And the French word for butterfly. What's the French word for butterfly?
I don't know it.
Oh, geez, I'm forgetting it now.
I might have heard it, but I don't recall it.
But the French word for butterfly phonetically in English was a pun on the P tape in
Papillon.
Moscow.
Papillon.
Papillon. Yeah, papillon is a phonetically pee-on. That's it. So she had this pee, and she was wearing a urine colored dress, or not quite urine color, it was yellow, and the papillon belt buckle. And I go, that's very obvious.
Okay, so question. Do you think she was sending a message, or the person responsible for her wardrobe was sending a message?
My understanding is that she is choosing her wardrobe very conscientiously and not disclosing to her confidants her thinking behind it.
I have no idea.
Because her assistants said they weren't picking out the fashions for her. She was picking out her own fashions. And so I actually wrote a blog post about several of those occasions where the signal, the visual signal of her fashions was quite striking.
Yeah.
But those are two of the
Okay, so
more obvious ones.
since you keep up on the news more than I do, since I don't spend the time to do it, Trump was excused on a particular day to go to his son's high school graduation.
Friday.
The random stuff I'm hearing says he went to a fundraising rally. Did he actually go to his son's graduation?
He went to the graduation, which I think was in the afternoon,
Okay.
with his wife. And then I think that night, he went off to some other fundraising thing, but it was the same day, but it was not, he did go to the graduation. There's the photos of him at the graduation. And his wife was there naturally because it's her son.
Okay. Good to know. All right.
And then a bunch of Congress critters showed up at the courthouse the last couple of days I guess Thursday, maybe Tuesday and Thursday. And they showed up in the same suit. They were all dressed alike. The Congress, 4 or 5 Congress critters all dressed alike with the red tie, long red tie.
That'll be the new version of the brown SS uniforms.
Yeah. But they only showed up outside. They didn't actually attend the hearing inside. They only showed up as his entourage, in that outside
They
shot.
couldn't get in?
I think they could have, they just didn't. Some of them did go in. I think a couple of the Congress people did go in and sit next to Eric Trump, maybe, but some of them only showed up outside. I mean, don't take the word for it. I think you need to go back and check the
Cohen
facts.
is the last witness, Paul, right? They're not calling any more witnesses?
No, as far as I know, now Monday is, I don't know if there's any more cross-examination on Monday, if Monday will end up being the closing arguments, but nobody's expecting the defense to call any witnesses.
What? I thought Trump promised he would actually testify.
He says that, but I would be very, very surprised
What a bullshit.
because he has to go through cross-examination. which is
Goddamn
a
liar.
disaster. So I'm pretty sure I won't, bet the farm on it, but I would be very surprised if the defense calls any witnesses at all.
Yeah, his attorneys probably are just telling him, "Do not testify. Do not testify."
Right.
Full of
I mean,
bravado. Stupidity.
Is it Weisselberg? Is that his name? Weisselberg would
CFO?
basically take the fifth because he's in jail now. And of course, Cohen has already testified. I don't think there's anybody left who would testify on his behalf without also lying.
Be good to get Melania.
I mean, the only person left who is prominently claiming that the election was stolen is Giuliani.
Rudy.
And Giuliani was appearing on WABC in New York City on the radio station, and he got suspended because he kept repeating the big lie. And the owner of it says, we're going to get us sued. And he basically suspended Giuliani, who's now doing his own podcast, I think, is still telling the big lie. Of course, Giuliani would never get called because he's going to lie on the on the stand, and he's going to get perjury. So
Still, it's good to get somebody like that, on the record, because we could always, indict him again on more stuff. Exactly, like perjury.
Giuliani doesn't need any more counts against him.
Yeah, we do. We just need to put these guys away.
But did you know that Giuliani has launched a brand of coffee beans? Rudy.coffee is now a website, and he's trying to sell coffee. He's trying to raise money to pay off his judgment,
Well,
and he has no money to pay off his
he should be
judgment.
selling Bibles, just like, what's his name? Obviously, or pillows.
The whole thing is just, I don't know. I don't even know if there's good words in English to characterize what's going on.
If he gets into office, we're stupider than I think we are.
Oh, there's a non-zero chance he'll get elected.
It's non-zero.
I don't know first of all, it's 6 months away, so who the hell knows what's going to happen in 6 months, but
Well, there's still a chance we could put him in jail for something.
yeah. Well, I guess probably by the end of next week, the jury will start deliberating. I think
Look, if he violates, and he has violated, gag orders, and Mershon puts him in jail, then any hearings for getting him out of jail or early release, he could postpone indefinitely, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on,
Not gonna happen.
first of all, what the verdict will be, what the sentence will be.
Nope.
Who the hell knows?
It'll be very telling, because then you'll really be able to see who's behind the scenes pulling strings.
Yeah, and of course assuming he gets convicted, he'll certainly appeal. There's no question about that. It'll appeal, and then if he appeals, presumably that means he doesn't go to jail during the appeal. I think that's how that works. I don't really know for sure. I think if you appeal, I think they don't jail you. They don't carry out the sentence until after the appeal, I think. But I'm not a lawyer, so, and it's also the state of New York, not the federal, so that may make a difference too.
But if he appeals,
That'll be
it goes up to the New York Supreme Court, not the U.S. Supreme Court.
Correct. Yeah, the only way it could go to the U.S. Supreme Court is if the law itself under which he's convicted is challenged as unconstitutional. But as far as I know, the state law that he is violating is not alleged to be unconstitutional according to the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah, the defense has never even tried to make that claim.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they won't try it just to buy time. But who knows? They'll probably find some excuse to run the appeal as far as they can.
Of course.
But again,
But
it's a chess
attorney is going to represent him unless he gets paid first. And does he have the money? Clearly, he's low on funds.
Well, he's got property. I mean, he's got the tower.
Yeah,
in
you
New
think
York.
he's going to
He's got
sign over his
Mar-a-Lago.
property as collateral to an attorney?
Who the hell knows? And then he's got Truth Social, which is probably not worth anything, but
It's worth negative. We're watching the demise of this society.
well, that's the sad part. It's not just Trump. It's at least a third of the electorate are pro-Trump, and that's
And to really look, the only people that can do something, there's a handful of people that can do something, right? There's Mershon, there's Jack Smith, there's what's
One
his
in
name,
Georgia.
the Attorney General in New York. There's
one in Georgia.
yeah, and then there's the judge in New York,
Oh, and then
There's
that
a
judge that
handful
he
of people.
appointed.
There's
Eileen
only a
Cannon's
handful.
not going to do anything. She's the young judge that he appointed. So
Oh, there's some hope there because she could be so stupid she makes a judicial mistake. And then
well,
gets
yeah, but that would take forever to process. I mean, they really take a long time to reverse a judge. And by the time, I mean, that case probably won't be processed until long after the election. And then the only reason for him to fight it is to avoid going to jail, unless it's concurrent sentences, which is theoretically possible, I see. Although, I guess federal and state, there is no such thing as a concurrent sentence if one's federal and one's state.
They have different jurisdictions, right?
Yeah, so I don't really understand how that might
Yeah.
work.
Who would even hear that case? Who would even hear that argument?
I don't know. Don't ask me. And then, of course, the children are also in the loop on the Trump org stuff. So,
I want him to go down. I want Jared to go down. I want Ivanka to go down. I want Eric and Donald to go down. Donald Jr. I want Rudy to go down. I want
Rudy will probably go down, but who the hell knows? I'm just not going to speculate what's going to
that
happen.
weasel Lindsey Graham. What a butt.
Yeah.
And, jeez. And I want Lara Trump, to go down. They're going to misappropriate, Republican Party funds.
Well, the Republican Party, I think, is going to take a hit no matter what. But the question is how big a hit? Who the hell knows?
And whether it'll happen in time. Anyway.
I mean, it hasn't been, I mean, I can remember the Nixon era because I was, in my 20s, the Nixon era. And this is big, much worse than the Nixon deal. Much
Nixon was a
worse.
fraction of this.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to Trump, trying to claim immunity. He's not claiming he's innocent. He's claiming he can commit crimes.
Yeah, he said that from before the election. He could shoot anybody on Fifth
And why
Avenue.
the fuck don't people realize this? He's admitting to committing crimes that he wants immunity from.
The other thing is that he admitted paying the NDA. One of the people I think on Fox News says NDAs are not inherently illegal. You can have an NDA, say, in a business transaction where you share corporate secrets, and that's a perfectly legal NDA. And so he repeated this assertion that it's, NDAs are not illegal, which is an admission that he had an NDA.
Yeah, and two things. Number one, it was non-disclosed and inappropriate, use of campaign funds. And secondly, is trying to affect
The election.
fair election process. Right.
Yeah.
At least those two still count. I don't give a shit about the NDA. Okay.
So the fact that he, in a sense, admitted the NDA with Stormy Daniels, although not in direct words, but reminding people that NDAs are not illegal. Anyway, we'll see. I think the closing arguments, prosecutor and defense, will be kind of interesting for the elements of the case and the elements of the defense that they bring up. And basically, I think the defense is going to argue that you can't believe anything Cohen says.
Doesn't matter. Cohen didn't set the argument. Everything else was already established before he testified.
Yeah, but he was the only witness who could establish that Trump was present in the discussions about the hush money payoff. The fact of the payoff was not in dispute. What's in dispute is whether Trump was in the loop and approved it or ordered it.
Trump paid.
And Cohen is the only one who could say that. Weisselberg can say it too, but Weisselberg is not going to be called. He'll just take the Fifth Amendment. Although if they ask him, was Trump in the loop? I don't think he can take the Fifth Amendment on that question. But he's not
convicted. He's already in jail. Why would he still, he's not going to get indicted for something new just for that one piece of testimony.
Well, yeah, why he can't be called or isn't being called is something of a mystery to me.
It's not a legal question. It's a dramatization question. Cohen was an effective witness. They want to close strong with Cohen.
Yeah, he was well. Plus, he wasn't afraid to tell it like it is.
Right.
Whereas
they should have called Weisselberg before Cohen.
Weisselberg is also being paid to stay quiet. So if Weisselberg speaks, he gives up being paid by Trump organization.
So what? Trump can't enforce that.
But he can also not pay him. And then what's Weisselberg going to do? Sue him? He hasn't got any money.
If he hasn't been paid, it ain't going to happen, okay?
But I'm not going to get inside Weisselberg's head. All I know is that he's in jail for something like 4 months or something for lying. I can't remember exactly.
Jail. He's probably in some cushy little apartment somewhere.
He's in Rikers Island, which is not a cushy place.
Really? That's where he is?
Yeah, he's in Rikers.
Probably got his own special wing.
That I don't know.
Because they prepared a facility just for Trump, just in case he had to go.
I want to take a bio break, but just a quick one.
We'll take a break.
Okay, I'm back.
Turns out I had this made about 15-20 minutes ago. It's lukewarm now.
Sun Microsystems.
Oh, yeah. That was way back when I was buying some machines,
Do they even exist
so many
anymore?
of them.
Did Sun get bought out by Compaq or somebody?
No. Oh, come on. You got to remember this.
Who bought out Sun?
Oracle.
Oracle bought Sun. Oh,
You don't
okay.
recognize that? You don't remember that?
Oracle sells Solaris now, so that does make sense. But yeah, I couldn't remember all I know is that there
And
was
Java, they control Java, right? And Sun, of course, was the one that was behind Java. And
Oh,
now Oracle controls the whole Java ecosystem.
okay, yeah. There was a beautiful Sun campus that's, well, it's not walking distance, about 3 miles from where I live. That's now just a multi-tenant campus.
Well, there's more than one. One of them is now a Facebook campus.
Yeah, the one near me
California.
was
Oh,
completely
near you, okay.
4 or 5 buildings. And I actually had been there a couple of times
Yeah.
but then when Sun got bought out, then those buildings ended up being vacated by Sun and turned over into multi-tenant.
Yeah, in the 80s, I was buying so many Sun workstations for my projects. The guy I was working with, the sales rep from Sun,
Mhm.
he didn't even have to do any selling. All he was doing was taking purchase orders. He was making over 300K a year in the 80s. In
Wow,
the 80s.
it's amazing.
Just, on commissions from orders, just raking
Well,
it
they were
in.
damn good. I mean, the Sun machines and the DEC machines, they were sort of the leading vendors of mini computers in those
Yeah,
days.
well, Spark was a mistake, unfortunately.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay. I still have
Because they
working.
didn't go anywhere. Clearly, it was dead-ended.
Well, it was
They didn't
replaced by
continue to make
Ultra.
that investment.
Was replaced by Ultra, and then what was the next one? Supra was what came after Ultra, Supra or something like that.
And their hardware became irrelevant.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
working Sun and Ultra machines here.
Yeah.
Although only one of
The
them is.
only people that went independent with their hardware and succeeded, at least for the moment, is Apple, right?
Yeah.
They went risk. They did smart things. They hired smart people. They got all the power, behavior correct, and they're just doing astonishing things. But they're also hitting a cap because M1 was a huge.
They went through 4 different.
Yeah, they're on M4
architectures.
now. They're on M4.
Yeah, they did. First, they had the Motorola, the
Yeah, 68,000.
68,000. Then they had the G series, the G3, 4, 5. Then Intel, and now the M. Yeah, is that 4 different architectures?
G3. You mean the Power PC G3, G4?
They had the Power PC,
Yeah.
which is the G series.
IBM hardware.
Yeah. So.
Yep, they definitely have gone through 4 generations of that. But look, we'll see whether or not this whole M1, M2, M3, M4 business is going to pay off, because the incremental differences between 2 to 3 and then 3 to 4, I mean, that gap is getting smaller and smaller. So yeah, I mean, you could say, oh, 15%, is that worth it? Maybe.
But people are saying, no, it's no longer cost effective to buy a used Intel Mac. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen people argue you should
You
no
can pick them
longer
up
buy.
really cheap. I've picked up 3 really cheap, and I'm using them effectively right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got 2009 and 2012, 2013 Intel Macs here.
Yep. If you get one of those and you put an SSD in it and max out the RAM, they're still very usable machines.
Oh yeah,
I
well,
love
this
those
one's,
displays.
yeah.
Those displays are very good.
Yeah. I mean, here I am on a 2013 iMac, and the guy who gave it to me, he had 24 gig in it, and I took 8 of the gig out to move it to a different machine, so it's only got 16 gig. But for what I use it for, basically to surf the web, because I'm not running any high-powered applications on it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
And it's running Sonoma.
Once you unblocked me for how to get a different OS on there, it's been really nice to be able to try those machines out.
Yeah. Yeah, I have put Linux on at least one Mac, a really old one, a 2006 Mac, I think it was, that I put Linux on, a Mac Mini. I think it's 2006.
Is that already Intel?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have one of the very first Mac Minis. It ran Lion, and you couldn't go beyond Lion on it. So I put some version of Linux on it. Peppermint, I think, or something like that.
I like the concept of the Mini, but ever since they came out, they were still priced very high.
Yeah, of course, the thing is all the Macs I own were given to me by the same guy.
Ah, okay.
He would buy new ones all the time and eventually give me these old ones.
Tell him about the M4 so he can give you the M3.
Well, at this point, I suspect he's not going to be buying any more machines. But and plus, he doesn't live locally. He sold his condo and moved to Colorado, where his one surviving brother lives. So I got the things he didn't want to move to Colorado. He gave me this nice iMac and three Mac Minis. I think he gave me three Mac Minis and an iMac and some hard drives.
Why do you have so many Mac machines?
He would upgrade them. He had enough money to upgrade them pretty regularly.
Every year?
Well, not every year, because I've got a 2006, 2009, a 2012, and a 2013. And then, of course, he had bought newer ones. I mean, by the time he gave me the 2013, I think it was only like maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So he was using it up. He was using them for 4, 5, 6 years, which is a nominal lifetime of if you tend to upgrade pretty commonly. And he wouldn't upgrade them beyond the supported operating system. So when the supported operating system stopped, then I would go ahead and put Open Core Legacy Patcher and keep on upgrading them just fine. Actually, he gave me a 2006 Mac Pro, which stopped at Lion, but I was able to get El Capitan on it. You can't go past El Capitan. That machine's still in service, except that it's upstairs, and I only use the upstairs machine in the wintertime because it gets too hot in there in summertime. But now I've got this one in the kitchen, which is.
Did you ever beneficially leverage the 3D scanner that I think Sam Chan sent you? Did you ever find?
Oh, it's right. It's right here to my right. It's the Sprout machine, and the software for the 3D scanner only ever ran under Windows 8. And the thing is that he had wiped, well, he didn't wipe Windows 8, but he reset it. And after he reset it, and I would have to download the application again.
The license was lost.
Couldn't run anymore.
Yeah.
There's something about the window. It ran on the first edition of Windows 8. But once you had to Windows 8.1 or some crazy thing, it wouldn't run anymore. I never got the 3D application to run. Now, I can still run the overhead projector, but not with the 3D application.
And the company's defunct?
No, it's HP.
Well,
It's an HP machine.
Help you with that then?
I went to they have this website where all the users go on.
Talk to somebody, not just the website. Just
No, there are HP people who I talk to HP people at HP, and I talk to people at other, like, what's the one? I can't remember the name of the local company that services. Anyhow, they all said the same thing, that after you upgraded from the first edition of Windows 8 to 8.1 or something, forget it. The software basically was no longer, because they didn't update the software. They didn't update the
horrible company decision. It's a horrible company product strategy.
It's very disappointing because, I mean, I can still use the machine. It's running Windows 10 now. I put Windows 10, but Windows 10 won't run that software either, of course, even if Windows 8.1.
Yeah, so it's effectively useless. You got stuff just taking up space.
Well, yeah, it's sitting to the right of me, next to my kitchen table. And it's a nice Windows machine. It's got a big monitor and everything.
But that's not what you got it for.
No, because I was supposed to be able to use the 3D imaging, and the 3D imaging doesn't work. They didn't maintain it beyond, the first round of System 8 updates.
Right.
And Sam thinks I should still somehow be able to install it, but I tried.
It looks like
a lot of ways. I tried to go back to the problem was I tried to reinstall the original system, and it was lacking the update. So I basically gave up trying to figure out a way to. Other people said they had the same problem. They ran into multiple issues on it. I tried to update the ROM. Is it the ROM and BIOS? I tried to update the BIOS, and that basically bricked the machine. So I had to replace the motherboard. other people had reported the same thing, that the BIOS update bricked the machine.
Hey, are you ever on Reddit?
I occasionally would read it, but I don't have an account on it, and I hardly ever go to it.
There is a group I just found out on Reddit called HP Sprout. Now, clearly, since I just found it, I don't know what detail is there, but it looks like if you need anything about HP Sprout, there's 25 people there in a group called HP Sprout.
Do any of them say that they solved the problem to getting
I
it to
haven't looked yet. All I'm
Yeah.
saying is I just found that there is a group on Reddit that does this. So if you're interested, it's there.
Well, I can look, but I couldn't find any evidence that anybody got it to work beyond the very first edition.
Well, my first perusal here says nobody's complaining about it not working, and there's still people saying, here's what I'm doing with it.
But are they doing the 3D application?
Oh, wait, most of these are 9 years old.
Oh, forget it. It stopped working about 10 years ago or something.
8
Because
years ago.
after 8.1 came out, it stopped working around the time that 8 went to 8.1.
Here's a reminder. Water the spider plant.
I gotta water my spider plant. No, the
Oh.
last thing talking about some scanning accuracy post was 8 years ago, and then there's somebody posting that they have a turntable scanner for the 2015 model, and that post was only 2 years ago.
Yeah, but this isn't the, I don't think this is the, well, I'm not sure what year this model is.
Anyway, now you know there's a Reddit
Yeah.
group called HP Sprout.
All I know is I spent a month or longer researching it and never got any evidence that anybody got it working
Yep.
after the initial edition.
Okay.
The updates to the operating system basically left it behind.
Mm-hmm.
So the overhead projector projects a regular image, but not the 3D. The 3D component doesn't work. The infrared or whatever the hell it is, I don't remember now. I think it sends down infrared, and I forget exactly what the deal is. And I didn't have the turntable for it. You don't really need the turntable, but it's an option. Oh, here's Sam.
Well, I was just looking on GitHub, and I see. Yeah, this is all old stuff, 10 years old stuff. About
Yeah, and you know, I looked at the 10-year-old stuff also 7 years ago. Well, 3 years ago.
Yep.
And it all ran out of steam.
Okay. Hey, Sam, I just thought I'd give you a quick recap here. I initially spent a little bit of time prior to today's session working with this thing called InfraNodus because they claim to have a nice facility to analyze YouTube videos. And Barry and I had talked about, going back, revisiting some of these YouTube videos, using a tool like InfraNodus to look at all the text and who said what and whatever. And it claims to create a knowledge graph. I think you might have recalled that we spoke about this. And now, today, I remember why the previous attempts I tried didn't succeed is because I never pulled the trigger on spending €9 a month versus, 90 euros a year. But this morning I did. So I spent the 90 euros for a 14-day free trial plus the 1-year subscription, but I couldn't get it to work with my first 2 or 3 attempts. So I'm going to keep trying. And then after 14 days, I'll either cancel or do something else. But anyway, I was trying to get a tool to help us analyze a lot of these videos, because if it works, and I can do this on these 800 or 900 videos that we've got, hey, it's worth 90 euros to me, so that's a quick recap. That sort of got us into talking about these kind of tools. Barry and I have been talking about that today. And Eric, unfortunately, is not here. So I was planning on trying to see whether we could just keep it to an hour today, but now you're here. So let's see if anything's on your mind.
Well, based on what you told me so far, thank you so much for giving me the updates. And based on the facts that I received so far, lots of data, lots of CPU power. Somebody need to pay for it, the electric bill or the CPU bill. I don't think you're going to get it done. I hate to pour some rain on your parade, but I don't think this is ever. You
Okay,
can try
appreciate
one
the
and see what-
comment. I'm gonna ignore that comment. I'm gonna keep trying, then I'll figure out whether it's gonna work or not, okay?
Yeah, you know, I will encourage you to try. Of course, you never stop trying. And somebody may make a mistake like selling a first class round the world ticket for $5 or something. You know, that's a typo. I mean, I've seen that happen before. So
Well, a lot of companies really want early adopters and early usage and early, wins for the use cases.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether or not they're willing to do that. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna post my results publicly, and we'll see what this guy does to respond. Either he'll fix the problem,
yeah,
or he'll have a negative review on his site, and I'm not gonna give him my 90 euros.
yeah,
Or he'll ignore it. More likely, he'll just ignore it, not respond at all.
most
If he
likely.
does, he won't get my 90 euros. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but he's better off ignoring it than responding. Much
The
better.
technology
Not
of the.
necessarily.
Did you watch the latest ChatGPT 4.0 for Omni? Yeah,
Well,
so
I'm not
it
sure which one,
recognizes
because
the
there've been
facial
many such
expression now.
videos.
So it knows how to you're allowed to interrupt, you're allowed to it knows to see you're happy and you're whatever, right? So expression is coming into the technology realm. So I doubt they will be able to deploy it in such a huge scale for such a huge data of video. So maybe a year from now, I don't know.
Even so, I'll be happy because it claims there's a mode where you import a single video. I tried that, it failed. Okay. Then there's a mode where you can import an entire playlist, and it'll go through the entire playlist and look at all the transcripts. It's doing that now. It's been doing that for the last hour, and I've got 500 videos on that playlist, and it's still going.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You
I
can
see
volunteer
various-
to be a beta user.
Yeah, well, looks like alpha.
Alpha.
Yeah,
That's good. This is exciting. Congratulations.
I am trying. It looks promising, and even if it doesn't work, if I help the guy and he fixes bugs and then it works, I'll still be happy.
Yeah. There's a loophole somewhere that allows somebody to give away free CPU cycle time and power to power those CPU. We'll go for it.
Well, we'll see how many people are paying him 90 euros a year, and then how many people are actually using it. Anyway, so another thing is, just so you know, I'll report a happy personal. Can I change the subject?
Yeah.
Sure. It's not
On
recording,
Monday-
it's still recording.
I think it is recording. Yes, it is recording.
Yeah. So if you say personal, just want to make sure you
No,
stop it.
it's okay. It's okay. Like 3 or 4 months ago, I went in and told you guys that ever since I got my glucose continuous monitoring thing, my A1C went from 7.5, which is really bad, okay, down, or 7 or 7.5, whatever, it was above range. It went down to like 6.4. And so that was a huge improvement. That was February. And then I just went in, and it was either 6.3 or 6.4. And then I went in just this past Monday, and it was either 6.3 or 6.4. Anyway, it just changed by like 0.1. So it's within range now. And like I said, I'm just really fascinated by how my habit changes once I actually have data.
Yep.
And
called
data
feedback.
means a lot, for someone.
It's called
who's okay.
feedback.
Yeah.
Like I seriously, no progress is possible until you have feedback.
Yeah. So
People
it's
want to
really
argue with me. There's a book out there called "You Don't Need Feedback," and I read the book. The feedback they are referring to by the book author has nothing to do with my feedback. The feedback they talk about, the deceptive feedback, corporate play. The one that they manipulate the feedback and give it to the employee. And those are not feedback I'm talking about. Yeah.
So anyway, I
How do you get the prescription? How do you get the prescription? I'm interested to get one. I'm interested to get one because I don't have a prescription for it. I should ask my doctor for it.
Wait, are you in danger of having a high A1C?
My wife is, borderline. I got employees that borderline. I would love. Let me tell you this, the feedback thing. My son is, I think, 40 pounds overweight. So I sent him a written scale that tells you the body mass and all that stuff, and tells you about your vascular age. That's the key. It tells you your vascular age. It's like for 190. I said I'll pay for it. So he got it. Within 3 months, he lost 20 pounds. feedback is so important. I'm telling you, whenever I see a place there's no progress being made, it's always lack of feedback. So once you have feedback, so I'm looking for myself to put one on myself. I was looking for like, come on, I can just walk in and buy one from the drugstore or whatever. Like,
Well, if you don't mind saying, is it already high? Is it above the normal range, or is it still within normal range?
Well, I don't know what is that because I don't measure it, but I do have the fatty
Wait,
acid.
but when you go in for your annual physical, they do a blood panel. right?
Mine is below the borderline.
Okay, so you're fine. So you're just
But I want
interested
to
in
monitor
data.
it because I want to monitor before I need to monitor it.
Right. If that's the case, then the doctor will not be able to prescribe it for you because
Yeah,
you're not
I know.
in any danger. So you can still buy it, however. It'll
I
cost
know.
you, it'll cost you, I think, $150 per month
I
for two
don't care.
sensors.
I don't care.
Okay, so
Money.
here's the thing. Try this thing called FreeStyle Libre 3. That's what I'm using. And
Yeah.
on Amazon, it's like $75 every 2 weeks, or you can, 150 bucks a month. That gives you
Yeah.
two sensors. Each sensor
Right.
lasts 2 weeks. Okay. If you have insurance, insurance will cover 50% of that. If
Yeah,
you
I
don't
never
have
worry
insurance,
about insurance. Yeah.
just go to pharmacy.amazon.com. I'll send you the link. Okay.
Okay.
You can get it, and since you're going to get it for all your family members, you just have to get N of these things, okay?
Yeah.
And then you just register. You don't even have to register. You just do local monitoring, okay?
Yeah.
Fine.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine because then it'll show you daily with every minute a glucose reading every minute, okay?
You know what this one does? You take a picture of everything before you put it in your mouth.
Okay, good. So the only thing I have to say about it is I started using it only a few months after it became available,
Yeah.
and these devices are still not extremely reliable. They are 50% reliable. Like every other one ends before the 2 week period and says you got to get replaced or whatever, okay? Now, the good thing is Abbott Labs understands this and they'll send you a replacement, okay?
Okay.
For free. And then you have to send in the failed unit so they can analyze it. Okay. But I've found that half of these units I put in my arm fail within 2 weeks. That's the only inconvenience. Okay. But when it works, it's really good.
Yeah, it's called battery power.
It's either that or the Bluetooth sensor or, whatever has to do with the actual.
I can guarantee it's battery
Okay.
because it's always the best. Anyway, I have a vest. It's called body scan. If you want to Google it, might want to get one. It's
The
called
what?
body scan
Body scan.
from Witwins with the S.
Can you put it in the chat?
I'm working on it. Let me find one for you.
I'll send you the link to the FSL3 in Amazon. So I will share that with you momentarily.
If you type in the word body scan, the Witwins body scan will show up. Smart baby scale.
Okay. If you put that link there, I'll get it. Sign in.
Okay, where is the chat here? Yeah, this is one.
Okay, I'm sending you the link now. See if
Okay.
you can click on this. I'm clicking on your body scan link right now. Okay, good.
Okay.
I got it. Okay, so can you click on that pharmacy Amazon link that I just sent you?
I did.
Yeah. So you can't get the 50% insurance coverage, but you can cover it, buy one unit, try it for a month, and then if it works for you, then buy for everybody else that you care about.
Got it. Yeah, see, transfer your prescription. I don't have a damn prescription.
Right. So that's the unfortunate thing. You'll pay
qualified.
twice as much as I do, but still, I think it's going to be worth it.
It's okay. I'm not worried too much about it.
Right. Right.
To me, that is priceless. You have something that
Right.
been spend millions of dollars and millions of testing and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know about the unreliability of the device before you got it, just so you wouldn't just completely give up. I mean,
What I'm trying to do is when I eat my bread that make from Safeway, whole wheat, what happened to my body? That's what
yes,
I'm
yes.
interested.
Oh, and that's fascinating because I've learned how to manage my blood sugar based on what I eat, right? For
Now
example,
tell me what
rice.
you learned. Yeah, your feedback
Okay.
is useful too.
I try to keep it monitors a range in millimeters of something, per body, whatever number. Anyway, the scale is from 70 to 180. That's normal. Let's consider normal.
70 to 180. Okay.
Right. So when my blood sugar is between 70 and 100, I feel like I can eat almost anything. So I even have spaghetti and it'll jump up, but it won't exceed 180. Okay. When I have rice, however, rice really jumps it really, really high. So I have to be careful with rice. Okay. But fruit, like half a banana or an apple or an orange, that bumps it about 30 or 40 points and it's over a slow period, which is fine. Okay. But bread, boy, that spikes it really high and very fast. Okay.
What kind of bread? Come on, there are 10,000 type of bread.
I found the bread that spikes it the slowest is sourdough.
Sourdough.
Sourdough is more acceptable than the others, but normal bread, I don't even
That explains
use
why
those
my
breads.
wife loves sourdough.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I got lots of these little insights. Like you cannot eat a whole banana. A whole banana counts as 2 fruits, it turns out, when it comes to blood sugar.
Wow.
So you have to only eat half a banana if you're trying to do a fruit serving. Okay.
Right.
So, little things like this. Um,
You know the difference and make the difference. That's what I say.
yeah, I'm observing myself, and trying to see what actually makes those big differences. And so I don't let myself have milkshakes. I don't let myself have ice cream. I don't let myself have Cinnabon. I don't have, but little cookies, little Costco cookies, every once in a while, they're still okay because they only bump up, 30 or 40 points. So I'm learning what's acceptable. Oh, what's really good? Remember I mentioned this last week? Costco pink oranges. Man, I love those things.
Cara.
Pink orange.
Cara oranges.
Did anybody go and get any Costco pink oranges since I mentioned this? Because I haven't had a bad one yet from Costco.
No, I haven't been to the grocery store, but I saw them advertised on the circular last week.
Yeah. Anyway.
What's the difference between pink orange and regular orange? Is it sweet or is it what?
It is sweet. In fact, sweeter than regular oranges. Okay.
Mm.
And they're part of they are also navel oranges, but I don't know. I just find the quality to be so consistent at Costco and they're so good. I eat like 2 a day now.
Pink orange?
2 pink oranges a day. Yeah.
You're supposed to eat variety of fruits, not just
And
one.
I have an apple or 2 apples a day, and I have a half a banana. So it's not the only thing I've been eating.
Okay. You eat berries, strawberry, blackberry, blueberry.
I haven't been doing that.
Yeah, those are
but
high in antioxidant.
But I have been eating lots of nuts, mixed nuts. Those are very
Yeah.
good.
Nuts is not fruit. So again, try variety of fruits. What do you call that? Dragon fruit, kiwi, grapes,
Grapes.
and lychee. Yeah,
Grapes
lychee.
spike my blood sugar almost like and nothing else. Grapes are really, really high impact sugars for me.
But because it's fruit, it's supposed to go slowly, isn't it?
It is, but grapes have a very fast
Except for grapes.
except for grapes, yes. That's right. I'm watching what happens. It'll be interesting once you get this thing. You'll actually see yourself how quickly some of these effects affect your body.
Do they have a over time graph or just a
Yes,
spike?
yes. It's actually by the minute. So you can actually see the effect by minute. And then every day it gives you a 24-hour graph. And then it'll actually compute something called the GMI, the glucose monitoring indicator, which is a 2-week approximation of an A1C, which is a 6 to 8 week monitor. But the last time my GMI said I was at 6.3, A1C said I was at 6.4. It's within 0.1, so it's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does it tell you your insulin level or anything like that?
No. But you do get to determine whether or not you're on insulin. So it'll actually try and give you I mean, I don't use it, so I don't know what exactly it does. But it does have something having to do with insulin, and you can tell it. I don't know what it'll do for you. And then it'll actually tell you over several weeks
Mm-hmm.
by hour what your average blood glucose is. So it can actually see by
Yeah.
the time of day, you can sort of see what your blood glucose is doing,
Yep.
which is an interesting graph. I find that between 9 and 12 in the morning and 9 and 12 in the night,
Right.
it's higher for some reason than other times. So glad you're going to be doing it. We can actually share insights, Sam, if you actually get this. thing.
Great. Yeah. Basically, it's sweet stuff, starchy stuff. By the way, rice. Okay, the way that we cook rice right now is very different from the way that we used to cook rice. We add in some beans or the what do you call that? The Indian, the one that you remove the skin of the green beans. What do you call that? We in Malaysia we call it paru, but anyway, it's like you take a green bean, a Chinese green bean. Okay, you remove the skin and you cut it in half, right? So it's
Snap beans.
snap peas, yeah, snap peas. You can put snap peas. You can put whole what do you call that? The one that the wild rice, whatever. You can mix it into your rice when you cook it. So it basically you change a different composition, and you don't spoil your blood.
Saffron.
Saffron. I mean, you can put Spanish rice. You can put whatever it is, anything but just dilute. So instead of like in the beginning, you may have 80% rice. Sooner or later, you get to 50%, and right now we have like 30% rice. But it still tastes like rice, but it just have a different,
Texture.
texture.
I'll give you something else I found. I found cauliflower rice.
Yep.
Costco.
Yep.
And I'm using cauliflower rice, whatever I used to use rice. It is very good. I like cauliflower. The only problem with it is it's very expensive.
That's what I'm saying. Mix them. That's why I keep saying mix them. So use the rice from 20% cauliflower rice to 30% or 40%, whatever you can handle until you just hit to the level that right now we have about 30% rice and the rest of it is bento, lentils, yeah. And whatever from Taiwan you have this tiny rice, and you know what a tiny rice is? Xiaomi. It's called in Chinese. It's called small rice, but it's a yellowish color. It's short and it's round, and it's a rice, but from Taiwan. It's called a tiny rice.
Do you get that at the 99 Ranch, or where do you get it?
99 Ranch, yeah. It comes with a pack, and usually it's a pack of 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Again, you just put those things in there, and that change the composition of the starch.
Okay, I'll do some of that.
Yeah.
My solution has been going to cauliflower rice, and I found that that's a good solution for me.
Right.
Good. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to your experience with this FreeStyle Libre 3 once you get it.
Yeah. Try to see if I can find a picture. I have to write it in Chinese. Xiaomi. Nope.
Barry, you don't have a problem with blood sugar, do you?
Blood sugar, not to my knowledge. I did in my PCP increased, doubled my amlodipine from 5 to 10, and my high blood pressure plunged like 30 points within 3 days. So
wow.
I'm down from like 150, 160 down to like 130 or so, just by doubling my amlodipine.
On Monday, I was 135/80.
That's close to what I am. Close to what I am. But as far as I know, blood sugar.
Oh, that's a picture? Okay, good.
Yeah, it's called Xiaomi. So that's a tiny yellowish rice, but it's so tiny that it's like 1/10 of the size of a regular rice.
Okay.
Let me see if I can zoom in. It's almost like, see?
That looks like a sponge.
Yeah, almost like a sponge. Yeah. Yeah, so that's you see them. I don't know how they label them over there, but Ranch 99 has them, and a lot of Chinese grocery shop has them. And it tastes good.
All right, I'll look for it next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sam, you're gonna get it this week?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you gonna get one of those GCM monitors this week?
If I can buy it right now, I'll buy, but I just need a prescription. Maybe you can use your prescription and send one to me. I'll pay you.
Okay, fine. I'll send you one. I'll gladly send you one. Okay.
Yeah. But
Uh,
let me use your prescription. Whatever, I
to-
don't care. I'll pay you for whatever.
I'll see if I
Let
have
me
your
figure out if
address.
I can get it from here or whatever. Yeah. I'm eager to try it. I don't really need a long time. I just need 1 month. That should be enough for me to get the data.
Yep. Okay.
Or you can order an extra one there where you can bring it with you when you see me next week or something. Yeah. Whatever works for you. I mean, I'll give you
Yeah.
my address as well.
You know, because it fails so often, they do send it to me, but I keep my regular orders going anyway because
Right.
you know that's just handled by insurance. So
Yeah,
like
so you
it
extra
goes for
one.
10 days and then it fails, then I've got an extra 10 days of replacement, you know.
Yeah,
so
perfect. Yeah. You don't really need a lot of data. 1 month you have, I mean,
no problem.
you have 30% of the food that you eat, right? I mean, variety of food, 30 versions. I mean, if you chunk it down, every day eat about 5 different versions, so you
Right.
get your data pretty
Right.
easily.
So the interesting thing is between the 70 to 180, it also gives you percentage of time you're within range. So for example, if you're 95, 96% of the time you're within that range, and then 4% of the time you're above or 4% of the time you're below, that's also
Right.
useful to know, right? And if you go
Right.
above the range, it sends you alert. And if you go below the range, it also sends you another alert, as long as you have it synced to your phone.
Right.
I have the app, which runs on Android. It's very nice. By the way, my doctor says that her husband also uses that same device, but his Android app doesn't work as well as, sorry, his Apple app does not work as well as my Android app. So she can sync it with her Android app, but his Apple app, for some reason, doesn't get the same performance. So you use Apple a lot, and I don't use Apple for this. I'm hoping that it works for you, but if it doesn't work,
Well, yeah, don't worry about it. If I have to, I'll buy an Android phone. I don't care.
okay, all right,
It's so important to me that for me, it's like
okay, all right,
no technology can stop me.
good. I'm just letting you know what I know. Okay.
And thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the what do you call that, the data point that I
Because
useful.
when she heard that I get the very good behavior out of my Android app, she's gonna get the Android app for her husband. You know.
Yeah.
So that's good feedback for her.
Yeah, my concern is that depending on which part of your body that you punch in, and depending on how much muscle and how much fat you have in the part of the body.
There's only one place
So-
that Abbott says you have to put this. It's in the back of your arm, okay? So they only approve for it, in the back of your arm, left or right. So I alternate depending on which time. You know, I just go left, right, left, right, left, right, okay? And they say it's only approved for use at that location, and no other location is approved for use. So you can't put it on your butt or your leg or your chest or anything like that. You got to put it in the back of your upper arm. So that's it.
There's a Windows application that lets you run Android applications on your Windows.
Yep. You can do that through Windows. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I have it downloaded on one of my machines, but I hardly ever found any use for it.
But to get the best use out of this, your phone, the one that's got this app, and your sensor, in other words, your arm, they need to be within 30 feet of each other.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm holding my phone.
Bluetooth issues, okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. I'm looking forward to your experience with it.
Yeah, I'm interested. So again, if you want to bring your extra unit with you,
I'll bring you one. I'll bring you one.
1 or 2, it's good if you have extra too. Yeah.
I know I have at least one extra, but for you,
Yeah,
I'll
one
bring two.
is enough for now. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I'll find a way to get it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
One will last you 2 weeks. You should actually have a pretty good understanding of it by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
A week and a half, depending on what you say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But even if you never mind. Okay, so yeah.
For monitoring health is so important. So that's why I said the body scan I was telling you
Yes.
about. If you read it down on the link I sent to you earlier,
Okay.
it gives you the vascular age. That's what I was very interested in. And I remember one time my daughter bought me the the world best roast beef sandwich. I eat the whole damn thing. It was shoot up for 4 years.
Yep. That's what good food does for you.
And the next time she went down the same spot again and said, "Daddy, you want another roast beef sandwich?" I said, "No." Give
Well,
me
I'll
the
ask you another
bullshit."
question. What's your favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Yeah, so it's like, okay. I'm monitoring it. The other thing also, the ECG is it monitor your ECG every day. So someday I have noise, like a lot of noise. So it's like, okay, I want to measure. It's like, okay, what food did I eat yesterday? That's why I take a picture of the food I eat every day, every meal right now. So it's like, or drink, something like that. So monitoring, you need to have the cause and effect clearly identified. Once you know the difference and make the difference of what food you put in your stomach.
Yep.
It's like, after you take your walk, you measure your blood pressure the next day or the day before, compare them and you can see the difference.
I'm
Exercise
curious about
actually
that
helps
too.
to make the blood pressure down, no question about it.
So how are you? What's the level of your exercise?
Mine?
Mine,
Yours. Whose?
yours, you go first, Barry.
Well, since the weather turned nice, and because I wanted to try out my new vision, I was out walking quite a bit after my cataract surgery. Not every day, because some days it was raining here, but I've been out walking quite a bit more in the last week or so, partly to see what's my distance vision going to be like, and also just because the weather was nice. And during the winter, I wasn't going outside at all to walk. Actually, I think the watch you sent me actually has the record on. I'm not sure how to bring up the record, but it gives you a weekly summary.
Yep, it's all there.
Yep.
As long as you allow it. You have to allow
Well,
it.
it's turned on. I mean, when I went out for a walk, it says, "It looks like you're taking an outdoor walk. Would you like to record it?" So I hit yes. And then it says, "Oh, it looks like you've ended your walk." Have you ended? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's giving me, there's, how the thing goes.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of things it keeps track of. And it's been telling me that I hit all 4 rings yesterday and all that kind of stuff.
Good.
So what about you, Sam? What are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I would say the last 2 years, at least, I'm increasing my walking distance and exercise time. I minimally 45 minutes of exercise a day, either walking, climbing stairs, on the treadmill,
That's
lifting
good.
weight or whatever.
Because since I got this GCM, I've also tried to make sure I'm more steady on my exercise. So at least, I don't know, 4 to 6 days a week now, I'm walking 1.5 miles a day. So with the dogs. And that obviously I think is helping with my health as well. But lately it's been more like 5 or 6 days a week doing 1.5 miles.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I know you're doing now. Is when you cannot walk, it's too late.
That's right. Yeah. All right. I will bring one down for you. Not tomorrow, but approximately a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm good. So I now have a good reason to miss you even more.
Hey, I always enjoy it when you have time. Okay.
Of course. And my schedule is, like I say, it's like a bank teller. I'm free most of the time, except when the customer showed up in the role,
I know that's not true, but I appreciate you saying that. All right, good. What else is on you guys' mind? I think I'm gonna go take advantage of my low blood sugar right now. I'm gonna have some more fruit and possibly, I can very rarely, safely have a pancake or a waffle, but now I know when it's safe to do so. So I'm gonna try and do that today.
Depending on what ingredient you put in your pancake, by the way, you can change the ingredient of your pancake as well. So again,
well, the reason I'm talking about this is I don't know if there's a one in your area, but there's a place called Original Pancake House. There's a couple
but we
dozen
have
of them.
one here.
Yeah. So they have some stuff that's really bad for blood sugar, but it tastes really good. Okay, so they have something called the what is it? The Tahitian? No, Mandarin orange. It's the Mandarin crepe. It's got these little mandarin oranges with a little orange sauce, on these very buttery crepes. Oh man, that's my favorite thing. So I haven't had that in years. Has it? Yeah, no, probably I've had it once in the last 2 or 3 years. So
You
I'm
have
about
3
to go
bites, it won't kill you. How's that? You can have
what?
3. You can share the rest of it with the people that cannot have it.
I'm putting it in here now. Mandarin crepes from the original Pancake House. There we go. Okay. There used to be one within a mile of my location in Saratoga.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on Saratoga.
That's right.
You there?
It's closed down now, but there's one down, I think, near Eastgate.
They
It's
move it
outside
just
of
not
San
too
Jose.
far away. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's still 2 or 3 in the Bay Area, and there's one here in Bothell, which is about an hour away. But it's a place that I would drive an hour to go to occasionally.
Oh, before I forget, there's a video I post on my Facebook page. I haven't posted a long time. Prediction of 2024
Prediction about what?
technology.
Technology prediction? Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah.
Prediction of 2024. Huh?
Well, you can just YouTube. YouTube is in the YouTube. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Your personal predictions or something you reposted?
Well, basically his prediction.
Who's?
Yeah, who is it?
Let me see if I can find it for you.
I'm thinking that most of the predictions are going to be AI based.
Yeah,
What's
that's what
going to be doing next year?
about food, about drugs, about. Let's see if I can.
I mean, space travel is so far planned in advance, it's not really a prediction. And hardware is really not that much to predict, but AI, I think that's the one that's moving fastest right now.
The one that's most exciting to me is not AI. It's whether NASA is really taking seriously this new form of propulsion. I really hope.
Oh, I think that's bogus.
Yeah, but it's been reported in multiple different sources. I'm not believing it, but I'm trying to see which one becomes credible.
Scott Galloway. You know who
Stuart
Scott
Galloway?
No machine is going to show up in the short term.
Let me give you the link. He's a lecturer of NYU. I started following him about 2 weeks ago when he gave a talk on TED about we are destroying the future of all the youth
No
in
machine is going
the
to show up in the
US.
short term, at least, and take your job. But some young person who really understands this is going to.
Okay.
So he's talking about stability. You can look at the transcript. I can do a quick summary for you if you want.
Probably medical stuff will be some breakthroughs too.
Yeah, there are 10 things that he predict about medical stuff. Is about the breakthrough is the drug that lose weight, help people lose weight because
Ozempic?
yeah. So basically, that would change the whole industry of medicine, everything. Because when the weight goes away, a lot of illnesses go away. The medication goes away, and the glucose thing, the what do you call that, the diabetes will go away, and a lot of things will affect it. So that's one of the things that he predicted. Like that's one that the breakthrough, right?
Have you been staying on top of nutrigenomics? Basically personalized nutrition based on your DNA and your genetic makeup? I think that will be promising.
Optimizing your diet for your genome?
Yes.
Okay, well, that sort of makes sense, I guess.
I think that remains. I mean, it's been on the precipice of making a difference for quite a while. At some point, it's going to hit that, the curve.
Let me do a quick summary for you with my ChatGPT YouTube plugin. So we can.
I would like to see a breakthrough in speech to text. That's what we need, the breakthrough.
All right, starting actually talking to the process video summarizer. This is so good. I love this thing here. TikToks, the one, domination and threat. Prediction, diversity of TikTok. Why is TikTok so important? The one that think about TikTok, the way they say, I remember they said, money always win. You know why? TikTok has so much money. People are making them. There's so much money they can out to the whatever they need to get done. So money always win is the sentence that I remember about.
Well, we've designed this quote unquote society / economy so that money does win. That's by design.
Money talks, nobody walks.
Yeah. So this is a summarize from the summarize, so you don't have to watch the video. So you can read it real quick. I can do two at a time.
Oh, there it is.
Can you see them in the chat?
I saw
Yeah,
that, the
reading.
2 paragraphs. Yeah, you posted another one. So yeah, I've stayed off TikTok because of the Chinese ownership business.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
Although I do know that Kayla, for example, is all over TikTok.
Oh, so these are the predictions from this Galloway guy that you're posting?
Yeah. That's what I love about the
Yeah, so 2 of them are already AI, 3 of them are AI.
yeah.
And let's see, where's I don't see the health I don't see the health one yet. Oh, there it is. Well, AI and healthcare, okay.
If you watch the whole thing, you will talk about the medication for the losing weight. I think that to me that was like, okay, wow.
All right, but the one that is on my mind is he predicting who's going to win the U.S. presidential election.
He didn't predict that one.
That's hard to predict. Oh, there is one guy who's famous for accurate predictions, but I don't.
But the way that this time is so different than the historical.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is different. Well, Trump is such an unusual
yeah,
politician candidate.
all the fundamentals are changed. You know, it's like all bets are off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare to predict it. I'm not.
I'm predicting whatever it is going to be chaos, no matter whether he wins or loses, it'll be chaos.
If Trump wins, I will seriously look to move out of the United States.
Bush, but I didn't end up wasn't that bad. At my age, it doesn't sort of make any sense to leave the country now.
I don't think it will change as much fundamental as this country. What do you think will the most affecting you? What would that be, Sam? What would that be?
Are you kidding? He's
I'm
planning on
not kidding
assassinating
you.
his political
I'm serious.
opponents.
What I'm just want to find out from your perspective, what will affect you the most? Just one thing.
Justice and legal precedent will be completely ignored.
4 years.
It'll
4
be
years.
It'll be rule by power. Constitution will be dismantled. Elections will not take place. There will be discrimination like you wouldn't believe. Okay, and so it's just not going to be a pleasant country to live in.
So this will be your prediction.
Yes,
win.
absolutely. If
Okay,
Trump
got
gains
it.
power, he's already said it. That's what he said he's going to do.
I still believe in the structure that we have in US.
I don't, because he's corrupted it. You know, he's got so many judges already in his pocket, and it takes too long for any process of justice to wind its way through the courts that it's just and by the way, if everything eventually hits the Supreme Court and you can get those corrupt people like Alito and Clarence Thomas and Amy Barrett, whatever her name is, and Brett Kavanaugh, you know, the rapist, and all these other ones, you know, there will be no justice. No way. Constitution will be irrelevant. It's going to be a shithole country.
Okay, that's what you think.
Yes.
That's what you predicted. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
You got it.
And
Thank you.
it's not a hard prediction. I mean, he's already told us he's going to do all this.
What he can do or he did or whatever. So the way I think about it is that he did a lot of things, and then the new Biden administration still using the whatever he decided. So like, okay,
Yeah,
he
the
did
Biden administration is just as culpable for some of these bad decisions, like at the border and what's happening with these immigrants.
well, he has way to deal with it that's different than the other people's way of dealing with it. So
Yeah, I'm not saying Biden's a great candidate. It's just he's better than Trump. That's all I'm saying.
But he's more level-headed.
He's got more respect internationally than Trump does.
well, let me put it this way. Look at the stock market. It went up this week, right?
I don't give a shit about the stock market, okay? It affects only the rich. Regular people are not affected by the stock market.
No, the reason I asked is that what do you think causes that to shift?
It
If you
doesn't
know.
matter. You know, if you redefine all your metrics, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
The Dow has been redefined so many times, and you look at unemployment. Unemployment's been redefined multiple different ways. All the different measures of unemployment. If people give up, then they are subtracted from the people looking for employment. That doesn't matter either. So it's all ways to just play the game so that the numbers look good.
Do you remember somebody say something? All the reality thing are temporarily.
What?
Everything that happened in this world are all temporarily.
Yeah,
It's not
that's by nature, right? Time goes on.
time goes on.
That's Barry's favorite notion, right? Evolving. We are all just becoming.
Well, the idea of becoming is becoming in the notion of some concept of improvement rather than devolution.
Hey, it's not monotonic.
Well, I know that. It's in a roller coaster. That's the whole point. It's a roller coaster ride.
Right. And right now we're on a downhill slope right now.
Well,
On a number of different metrics.
And you'll end up with dispiritedness and depression on the downhill of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Would you consider this as a learning curve for the society?
No, society's not learning shit, okay? A few people are, but society in general is not learning at all.
That's the Peter Senge notion of learning community
Right.
with a learning organization, but our polis, our public is not a learning organization.
I mean, if you take a look at what's going on the media outlets, they're not learning anything. They're just parroting, common phrases. There's no insight really being gained there. The only insight you're really getting are people from like Robert Reich, AOC, Norm, what's his name at MIT. There's a few people who are actually able to see what's really going on, but the general media, nah, they're not doing any analysis of what's going on. In fact, this whole notion of equal time, is bullshit. If you have somebody with a considered opinion and then some idiot, comes up and says, well, I have a different opinion, they give that person equal time. That's bullshit. Okay. So that's not applying the common sense of journalism.
Well, unless you give them equal time, now you're biased.
No, you can tell if that person actually has a coherent thought or not. And if that thought isn't even, holding together on its own merits, don't give the person time. That's bullshit.
Well, then you have a biased opinion.
No, I have a bias towards truth. I don't have a bias towards giving idiocy equal time. There's a difference.
Except on
Idiocy does not merit time whatsoever.
On SNL, idiocy is the dominant entertainment feature.
And until we learn this, and until we realize this, and until we put a control on it, okay, we're enabling idiocy and its growing influence. We have to recognize that idiocy cannot be allowed to grow in influence. We have this stupid notion of democracy saying, oh, everybody has a right to their own opinion. No, if your opinion doesn't make sense, I don't have to listen to it.
For you, I
Yes.
agree.
Nobody should have to listen to it if it cannot even hold together.
You cannot decide for other people, my friend.
Yes, you can. You can look at rational thought. You can look at logic. You can look at evidence. You can look at science. You can look at, people who respect that thought, people who actually do not. You can look at whether or not somebody believes it based on dogma or based on actual reasonable, calm assertions. You know, you can look at all of those metrics. And if you don't, you're just enabling idiocy.
I don't have an answer for you on that because from my perspective, I prefer not to let anybody decide for me. I'm going to make my own decision, whether it's
Yes,
idiocy
that's
or
good.
not.
And if you can
Yeah.
explain it to me and it makes sense, you should have that opinion, okay? But if I go to somebody and say, why do you believe XYZ? And they say, well, because it's in the Bible. Where in the Bible? Well, is this? Well, here's another contradictory thought in the Bible. Or it doesn't matter because this is the right one, you know? That's bullshit.
So then you have from my perspective, that would be a big flaws in the constitution of freedom of speech then, because
Freedom of speech does
doesn't apply to
not
everybody.
allow everything. We already know this. You can't go into various different places and say fire, for example, right? So freedom of speech already is recognized not to be absolute. We already know this.
Are they not absolute, but bullshit can be absolute.
That's what I'm saying. We should be able to temper down the bullshit and only let, you know, well-considered opinions get the light of day, or, you know, the courtyard or the town square. And idiots, you know, should not be allowed to step onto the pulpit.
Got it. That's your opinion.
Yes, that is my opinion.
If you were to do that, how would you change the phrase on the Constitution of freedom of speech?
I would say that you have to be able to say, defend the merits of whatever you're saying. Okay. And if you cannot defend it, you know, on any of those grounds that I just cited, then it's not speech. It's just random bullshit. You got to be able to define speech versus bullshit.
Got it. Thank you. So you start using your new eye now, Barry? Glad you
Thank you
did
for
it.
that conversation, Sam. I know I was very opinionated, but thank
It's
you.
good. I'm good. I hear you. Thank you. I mean, again, the most important thing from my perspective is that the reason you call it bullshit is because you don't recognize the value of the bullshit. Because
I'm
of
open
India,
to it, but if someone cannot
in
display,
India,
then there is no
bullshit
value.
used as to cook rice.
Hmm?
It's a part of the fuel. Bullshit. You put bullshit in the tree, you let it dry, it become a you know, like a charcoal. In India, have you seen that? Yeah. Okay. Next time we go in India, if we look at a tree, there's a green stuff that sticks on the tree. Then you figure out, take a picture, and I'll tell you what it is.
I'm going to be there June 9th, so I'll be there
Okay.
soon.
Yeah. Pay attention to the tree that all of a sudden the tree has multiple green stuff that gets stuck on the tree. The shape of a circular shape. This green stuff look like dry grass, but get chewed up. It's come out the other side of the stomach of a bull. Called bullshit. It's real. Okay, let me see if I can take a picture, find a picture for you on the website. Save you a trip.
Look, all of this is basically attempt to interpret what tolerance means. Tolerating idiocy, tolerating intolerance, okay, is not tolerance. It's stupidity. So you cannot just force your compassion and your openness to make you stupid, okay? That's going too far. It's having an open mind, but don't have such an open mind that your brain falls out, okay?
Okay, I found something that don't have a picture, but the way they label it's not bullshit. It's called cow dungs.
Okay, so when I go to India, you're saying look for a tree, look for a green stuff plastered on the side of a tree in the form of a circle, and then figure out what that is. That's what I'm hearing you say.
That's what I say. Yeah,
Okay, I'll do that and I'll try and make sense out of that request.
yeah. Ask your friend, Indian friend. He will tell you.
Cow dung patties?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. That's how they dry them. They dry them on the tree.
And then what do they do with it?
Oh, you remember George W. Bush referred to one of his colleagues as turd blossom? Turd blossom? When you cow dung on the ground and it fertilizes some kind of growth, that's called a turd blossom in Texas. I think Cheney was referred to colloquially as turd blossom by George W. Bush. That was his nickname for Cheney, turd blossom.
I thought they were buds.
Well, he was the vice president, but you could look up, ask ChatGPT, who did George refer to as turd blossom? George W. Bush.
Okay, so cow dung patties are selling like hotcakes? Okay.
Yep. I'm so
I didn't
glad
know
you.
hotcakes were selling in India. All
So-
right. You guys have had enough of my bullshit then. Okay, I'll stay silent now.
Got enough cow dung for the day.
I find your picture, so I couldn't find one. Anyway, I was in Calcutta, and like, what is that? It's like, okay. So how are you doing, Barry? What's going on?
I'm enjoying my improved vision. I could go out to see, for example, how far behind a car can I read the license plate number? Is it
Nice.
2 or 3 car lengths so I can make out a license plate number with my left eye?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm 3 weeks away from having the right eye done now. This was done Monday a week ago. So
Do they put a glass in there, or that's just?
and what's called a Vivity lens. There were 3 choices of lenses, and I chose the newest technology, which is called Vivity. That's the brand name.
What's the difference? They make the difference.
It's because things are in focus, both distance and near.
Mm.
Um,
And the old one doesn't do that?
the simplest lens is single focal length.
Okay.
And then there was these multifocal, which were rings, like bifocals. It's like trifocals, but they were rings. And then this new Vivity is continuously graded from distance to near.
Adjustable? You talk about like it's soft. So it become a soft lens that is adjustable, or is it how?
As far as I know, it's not a soft lens, but it's a graded index lens. So the outside is more in focus near, and the center of the lens is more in focus in the distance. So as you look down, you get in focus closer up. So I'm in focus from about an arm's length to infinity, but closer than an arm's length. Like, let's see. So I start to lose focus at about 2 feet coming in. And so I may need reading glasses. If I want to read really up close within less than a foot, I'll probably need glasses. But in front of the computer where I'm arm's length away from the screen, I'm fine.
You're good. Okay, got it. Okay, so the way I understood is the regular multifocal lens that I have is that the top part is the one that go far and the bottom part is the one that go near, right? So when I want to go near, I have to look up a little bit, see it.
Right. So
the new one you think is that the middle one is the far, the one the peripheral is the one that goes near.
Right.
So you can look this way for reading a book, or look this way to reading a book, but not looking blind in the book.
Yeah. So for example, if I'm driving and I look at the dashboard, I have to look down, I can see the dashboard, which is an arm's length away. And if I look up through the windshield, I see in the distance.
Okay, got it. So it's perfect for driving then.
Good for driving, and I can read the dashboard just fine. But if I wanted to read, 4 inches away, then I would need reading glasses probably.
Yeah, needing reading glasses. Okay, got it. So reading glasses will be slightly different because now your reading glasses in the middle, you have a different lens, and they have to have a special reading glasses for you then.
I think reading glasses are basically just a fixed distance. But the thing is that I very rarely read print. I almost always read off the computer screen.
Got it. Yeah.
The computer screen is easily, an arm's length away, which is about 3 feet, and that's going to be in focus. So I
But when
won't-
you go to a place where like government agency or something like that, you need to fill in the form where there's only 12 inches away from you. The form, like you need to fill in the form with the fine print. Or when you go to grocery shop, try to buy something and they read the labels.
But I can go into the drugstore and buy off-the-shelf reading glasses. They sell reading glasses in half a dozen different focal lengths.
Got it.
And you can pick the one that works for you. And chances are I'll end up buying a pair of off-the-shelf reading glasses once I get both eyes and see the distance below which I'm going to need reading glasses.
Nice. So this is the new type of lens that they have.
Vivity is the brand name. And if you look up Vivity intraocular lens, IOL, you'll find out what they are. It's the newest technology for more than one focal length out of the same lens, but it's continuous gradation rather than in rings. Like the original multifocal were, annular rings, and this is a continuously graded index from the center to the out.
So Vivity, Vivity, Vivity lens.
Vivity is the brand name of the lens. It's a Vivity intraocular lens, and you can read about what the parameters are. I've actually done technology.
Yeah, corrective standard version, right? Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I'm getting Vivity lenses and laser assisted surgery, which makes the surgery safer. And so your eye basically has to heal from the operation. Cornea tends to get a little bit swollen from the operation, and it takes a few days or even weeks for that to settle down. And once the cornea settles down, then we'll see exactly what my acuity will be. But I mean, I can see in the distance, it's fabulous. And also the colors. The sky is now blue in my left eye. Gray. And the sky, I can now see the blues very nicely. I think that cataracts tend to scatter the blue, and you can then.
Yeah, of course. It's a filter.
Yeah. I'm very happy with the left eye. It went fabulous, and I'm looking forward to having both eyes. Because right now, this eye is out of focus. I can still get depth perception, but I'm getting acuity in this eye and then sort of just distance in this eye, but not acuity.
It takes 6 weeks to do the other eye, right?
4 weeks. We'll do this eye June 10th, which is 3 weeks away.
Okay, got it. Nice. You look good.
Yep. And then you're going to see me without glasses, unless I end up with reading glasses. But I don't think I'm going to end up with computer glasses. I don't think I'm going to need them.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that I would recommend for the computer glasses is the Blu-ray thing. They're supposed to block the Blu-ray thing, so supposed to radiation or something. They call it Blu. Yeah.
These are LED screens. They're not CRTs in it. They're all flat screen LEDs, so they don't put out X-rays. The old CRTs put out X-rays. These don't.
Yeah, but I think there's a blue. They call it a blue. Let me see what the Blu-ray lens is supposed to do. It's supposed to do something.
Well, I think it blocks the shorter wavelengths, but for LEDs, I don't think that's an issue.
Blu-ray lens.
I could be wrong about that. I mean, there were outdoor glasses that blocked, ultraviolet, because sunlight puts out ultraviolet, but the modern computer monitors don't put out ultraviolet, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is when I make my reading glass, I call it computer glasses because that's what I use it for.
Yeah. So in 4 or 5 weeks, I'll basically have everything settled down to where I know what the final score is. But yeah. So I'm now 6 days out from the operation, so. And I don't see, at first I was seeing ghosts, but I'm not seeing any ghosts anymore. Single image
Yeah,
without any
I
serious.
found something on the web.
You
So
find
it
it?
says that the Blu-ray glasses actually do, the idea behind them is to filter a certain percentage of the blue ultraviolet light emitted by the screen. Prescription lenses are often coated with ultraviolet light protection. Well, this is
Yeah.
good ultraviolet light.
And I think for CRTs, you needed that because I think there was higher frequencies, but I don't, as far as I know, the LED screens don't do that. I could be mistaken, but it's very hard to get blue LEDs. Blue LED was the hardest one to get. The shorter the harder it was to manufacture a blue LED. They were originally red and then they got green and then they finally got blue ones.
Guess ask ChatGPT on Blu-ray works on LED. Let's see what it says. Perplexity. Yeah, let's see.
But you know,
Try to figure it out. I thought about that. Let's see if I send you a link. Share. Share link. Okay, coming over. See if we can figure out with me. Got my link?
oh, I thought you were sharing. No, you gave a perplexity search.
Yep.
What you want me to
It's
bring
gonna
up?
give you the link, give you the, yeah.
All right, let me copy that. Copy link, go to a browser page. Move up of this to browser. Open a new tab and put the link in the tab. Does Blu-ray lens work LCD? Blue light filtering lenses often marketed as Blu-ray or blue light blocking reduce eye strain and fatigue caused by prolonged exposure to the blue light emitted. Oh, so the idea is that it's an eye fatigue from blue light.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that well, first of all, with cataracts, I was blocking the blue anyway. The cataracts were blocking the blue. More eye strain. I didn't know about blue light eye strain.
Yeah, that's what I say. I know that's the reason why there's a market for it, as everybody's using it. So I know, I just don't know the technology behind it. So I'm just being curious about it.
Well, because the cataracts already block the blue light.
So now you don't have that.
Yeah. So I'll see if blue. I mean, on Linux, if I brought up a terminal emulator on Linux,
Mm-hmm.
it would change the font color depending on the text. And in blue text, if I did an LS, and it would show some files in white and some in yellow and some in, I couldn't read the blue. When any text was in blue on Linux, I couldn't read it. Now I'm going to need to check to see whether or not the Linux terminal, whether the blue text shows up clearly now.
Yeah.
Because before it was.
So in summary, while blue light filtering lenses can provide relief from the digital eye strain for some, their overall necessity and long-term benefit are still debated.
Yeah. Well, you can also just turn the brightness down on your monitor. So,
but if you look at the chart on the right-hand side, on the top right-hand side on that link I sent you, it shows you the blue light is right in the beginning of the spectrum or something.
right, let me bring that back again. I need to do history.
The blue light blocks. Anyway.
All right, so I see I see the chart. What am I supposed to be looking at with the chart?
Where it shows you if you look at the first chart on the left, it LCD lens transmitter spectrum.
Yeah,
Area above the chart represents light blocks. Color shown chart is a concept of how different wavelengths are visualized and all that stuff. So I don't think that by changing the font's color or the color or the brightness can block the frequency, because it's not frequency based adjustment. Is what I'm saying.
well, that just that black curve shows you what's being blocked.
Right.
So
The numbers was something like, what was this, 179 or something? Let's see here.
yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at the purple, and it doesn't. I don't. Well, of course, I'm only looking at it for less than a minute, but I don't see any. I don't get any eye strain from looking at the blue color. I was very. I mean,
How many hours you could be on it? So I'm on the screen on 12 hours a day.
I mean, looking at the sky and seeing that the sky is blue was wonderful. I look at the sky, instead of being at gray, it's now blue. I think, oh, it's a
Yeah.
blue.
But the blue in the sky, I guess, is a different frequency than the blue in from the screen. I don't know.
Probably, yeah, probably.
All right, it's time for me to go, and now we have someone to take over. Good to see you, Josh.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
What's up?
Nothing. I just been listening to you guys banter, so I'm just popped in to say goodbye. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah,
How
well,
you doing?
I'm doing fine. I mean, it's after 1 o'clock, so I've been up since 7, so I've been up for 6 hours already today.
Oh wow.
I'm ready for my number 2. I have to take eye drops. This is the last day that I take 4 drops a day, so I'm ready for my second set of drops now.
Nice.
And yeah, but yeah, the eye is clearing up very nicely, so I'm not getting any ghosts yet. I mean, the ghosts are cleared up, so
No ghost artifacts.
yeah. Well, when your cornea is swollen, you get ghosts.
Right.
First day I had prominent ghosts, and they've subsided. Where I don't think I see any ghosts now. I'm trying to see if I see a ghost. I don't think so. If there is a ghost, it's so faint I'm not seeing it now.
Yeah, you said it was just faint yesterday, so
Yeah.
sounds like it's going away.
So
That's awesome.
great. So, but I'm very happy with the cataract surgery. The left eye is fabulous,
Oh, good.
and I'll be happier
Yeah.
at both eyes, because this eye I get the depth perception, but of course this eye is out of focus, so I get the depth but not the acuity.
The depth, but not the acuity.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I just you probably wouldn't be interested, but there's a video that the actor Terrence Howard, who played in the movie Iron Man and a bunch of other movies, he's been blowing up the internet with these concepts of rethinking the mathematics and rethinking everything. So he's sort of very controversial because people are like, what? He's saying 1 times 1 does not equal 1. So anyway, it's interesting. That's what that's about. That's the look that I got from a bunch of my friends. But you want to redefine multiplication?
There's a really cute math joke where it showed you a right triangle with both legs the same length. The bottom leg was marked 1, and the vertical leg was marked I, and the hypotenuse was marked 0. Which is true if you go by Euler's formula. So
Yeah.
1 squared plus
Exactly.
I squared is 0. So that's certainly, but that was a cute joke. I hadn't seen that joke before.
Yeah. I like the idea of rethinking the entire economic system and just getting rid of money. That's something
Well,
I'm
we
big
maybe
fan of.
printed money pretty quickly. I mean, almost, I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I hardly ever use paper money anymore. I don't use coins at all anymore. I haven't used coins for ages.
It's just the concept of like this for that. That's the whole, I think that's the whole point of like just rethinking what are we looking at? What's our reality? Like what have we created? Is this working? Someone's got to do it at some point. You know what I mean? Like, so I like someone that's willing to be a forward thinker, like a Giordano Bruno or someone like that, who's gonna say, we're not the center of the universe.
Well, we've known that for several hundred years, I think.
Yeah, but that look that you just gave is the look that people gave when he said that back then. They were like, what? The Earth's not flat? What?
Greeks knew
We're
the Greeks estimated the circumference of the Earth pretty accurately. I don't know, what was that, 3,000 years ago, whenever that was?
Yeah, well, a lot of people knew all this stuff that this guy's talking about years ago, but it's all about, you fall into a pattern or a paradigm, and if it works, you just keep doing it. And if someone tells you it's wrong, you're like, no, you're wrong. This is right. What I'm doing is right. You're wrong. So
Well,
anyway, it was interesting to see the reaction of people's because some of the things that he said, I was like, wait, this guy is full of shit. But then some of the things were dead on. So it was a lot of great thinking. Mostly the thing that blew my mind was he said that there was copper inside of the hemoglobin of a cephalopod. So it's the same chemical structure as a human and a plant are the same. Just magnesium is in the plant and iron in the human and copper in a cephalopod.
chlorophyll and hemoglobin are very similar, except one has iron and one has
Magnesium.
I'm not sure what's in chlorophyll. The chlorophyll doesn't have iron, but it's a very similar molecule. And what's that? Horseshoe crabs have blue blood, I think it is. I think it's horseshoe crab. Doesn't have red blood. It has a different kind of. Doesn't have hemoglobin.
I thought we have blue blood.
Well, if it's deoxygenated, then there's no iron in it. So then, well, there's no iron oxide in it. There's still an iron. But the iron isn't oxygenated. It's rust, which is red, iron oxide.
But I'm saying when I look at my blood through my skin, it's blue.
Well, that's the deoxy. That's in the veins. The
Right.
arteries are red and the veins are blue. That's true. You take the oxygen out of the hemoglobin, it turns blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, well, I can see it in my own hand. So
Yeah, exactly. You just look at your own arms. No, but it's I just think there's a lot of things that need to get redefined, and it was great to listen to someone who's willing to go out of the box, and he's got 97 patents, and one of his patents has been used by multiple companies from IBM to Raytheon. So he's quite the profound thinker. It was coming out of left field to hear this actor actually talk with some sense.
yeah, well, I think in the next 10 years, which is probably the last 10 years of my life, we'll see some important new breakthroughs, new advances, especially in medicine, medical technology, I think. And AI, there'll be some breakthroughs probably.
Did you guys talk about AlphaFold 3?
Not today.
Google's DeepMind? Okay.
No, we
I
didn't
think
talk.
that's the biggest thing I've heard of in years.
No, that was not one of today's topics.
Yeah, I don't know is anyone thinking properly like on this world, in this planet right now? Like, oh, well, that war in the Ukraine, we don't talk about that anymore because that's just not the topic du jour.
Politics and governance is insane. And
well, we were talking about the war in Ukraine for the first 3 months. It was the only topic anyone wanted to talk about, and then they just lose interest.
Yeah, it's been going on for, was it more than a year now, I think.
It was going on for 10 years before that.
But
They were
yeah,
fighting over that region.
Crimea and all that stuff. But the thing is that it's like watching grass grow. Or watching grass die, maybe is a better term.
Is there anyone left to die over there?
Oh, yeah.
I'm joking. That was a joke. That wasn't a real thing. I know there's people left to die, but I'm just saying they've killed so many people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I just feel like everyone's in a malaise and just sort of like, well, this is the way things are. It sucks.
There's
Eh.
plenty of things to be dispirited about in our culture. More than enough stuff to be dispirited about if you want to sing the blues.
I could go list for list with any person that wants to talk about all the blues and dispirited and show them on the other side the optimist version of their list.
Well, optimism is about the future, that things will get better in the future, but the future isn't here yet.
No, I'm not saying the future. I'm talking about last year. I'm talking about, like, think about just 2 years ago, we were all wearing masks and fighting each other about vaccines.
Yeah, I was
Like, we're not doing that. Like, does anyone even remember that? Like, I feel like everyone's insane. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I feel like, and then they're looking at me like I'm insane, and I'm like, I'm not insane.
Public schools still have not recovered from the loss of education time. And they still have high levels of absenteeism in schools, even now, 5 years later. And I think that that generation that was in high school at the beginning of COVID has lost out compared to other cohorts.
Oh yeah, big time. I talked to those kids.
People who missed their high school education who are now missing their high school graduation are now missing their college graduation because of the Gaza protests. People have missed both sets of graduations, which is kind of sad.
There's people that were supposed to find their sexual time, when they're like going to college and 19, 20. They missed out on that, and now they're called incels. That's the new name for that. Have you heard of this?
Involuntary celibacy.
Yeah, and so they're just like dismissed in society. They're like, "Oh, you're an incel." Like, it's almost like the new word for, like, "Oh, you're a Negro." Like, it's like, it's horrible.
Right, you're born that way, and you're going to stay that way, and you can't change it.
And no matter how cool you get and how much sex you have, you're still an incel. Like, it's just like they've got that mark on them, like a scarlet letter on their forehead.
And then there are people who are serially monogamous, only one partner at a time. That's seriously monotonous. It's the other version of that.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a lot of young kids that really don't know how to talk to, let alone the opposite sex, the same sex. Like, they just have no ability to, like, but then you blank out their face or take away the screen. Here's the screen. Sorry, you take away the screen and they'll talk your ear off if they're anonymous. If you can't see, they just got a screen name.
Well, yeah, and basically when I write blog posts, I have no idea if anybody's even reading any of them. So I know I'm just writing a journal.
You know exactly. You have a blog. The word blog stands for log, weblog. You know exactly who opens what page when. You have all the metrics.
Well, technically, but the thing is that just because a page is,
you know how many links are coming into your pages.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's actually reading them. They may bring up a page and then not read it.
Well, how many links are coming in?
Not very many.
Well, if you got more, you'd get more readers. That's just the way the thing works. It's like, you don't have to pretend that you don't. I don't know how many people are reading. I just keep publishing it. It's out there. Someone might stumble upon it.
I pretty much stopped. I used to write quite a bit, but my rate of writing has really fallen off quite dramatically in the last year or two or three.
I'm just saying, if your book is in the back of the bookshelf in the back of the store and you want to get it out in the front, pay someone to put it up in the front for you so they can see the cover. Because otherwise it's the spline is not so helpful than the cover.
Going for me is that the web I mean, the web doesn't last forever, but it's easily lasts for 10 or 15 years before stuff on the web will go dark. So there's enough time for enough people to find my stuff, although it becomes harder and harder to find it because it stops being indexed. So Google no longer indexes blogs. At least they don't.
You could ask a large language model to grab all the links that you've done, turn it into a PDF, take that tokens, put it into Gemini, or give it to Sam and he'll put it into, I think I don't know how many tokens ChatGPT does now, but he can put it in his memory because ChatGPT has memory. So he could sit and talk to your papers at any time with his little device on his chest because he bought it.
So I'm not too worried. I mean, the stuff that has value will survive, and the stuff that was just transient value will fade. And I mean, stuff fades. It does.
Yeah, well, I was talking with some really smart friends last night about the solar activity and the 11-year cycle, the 11-year cycles of the solar activity every 22 years.
Yep.
So it ramps up and then ramps up, and they've been measuring that for hundreds of years, the solar activity.
We have one more year of the solar max. Solar max will peak, I think,
next year.
You know, within the next year or so, and then it'll fade again for the next 11 years. After that, it'll decline. I'm hoping to see another. I hope we get another aurora now that I've got good distance vision. I'm hoping to be able to literally see an aurora.
Hopefully, I think you'll see it next year.
I hope so. If we get, I mean, that big sunspot, which is now on the wrong side, the non-Earth facing side, that will rotate around again in, I think, in a week or two. And maybe if we have another burp from that sunspot, solar flare, we'll have another chance to get an aurora. But
I believe it was 1988 is when I saw the one in Massachusetts. The whole sky turned purple.
Yeah. I was here in 1988. I think I was here in 88, but I don't remember.
It was just in the evening. It was maybe a half an hour.
Oh.
And I wouldn't have seen it. It was in the, it was at night, obviously. But the neighbors called us, and we were living in the country, and our neighbors never called us. So we got a call from the neighbors going, "Hey, look up." And so we all went outside and looked up, and it was purple. The whole sky was purplish hue. It was incredible.
You'll be the first to hear it if I see the aurora in the next week or next year.
Yeah. Well, you could be one of those people, like all my friends that saw the totality of the eclipse. They were so awestruck. They're like, "I'm gonna go chase it the next couple of years, like when I can go to where it is." And like, yeah, there's fun stuff to go look at. Like if you live in Alaska, you see it all the time.
Yeah. Well, now that I have or will have distance vision in both eyes, I'll probably spend more time outdoors where I can actually see.
That's fantastic, Barry.
Distance. Because most of my time is indoors with short distance, on the computer screen and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, get out and do some astrophotography. That's my thing. That's what I'm gonna do next year. As soon as I get a little cabin built back at the property that I was at, I'm gonna start. I got a little $500 camera just waiting to be purchased. So as soon as we're up there for weeks at a time, I'm gonna purchase that camera, and that's.
Or just.
I mean, I love it. I love looking at the night sky.
Just look at the constellations, because, I mean, I could sort of see the constellations. Well, with my glasses, I could see them on a clear night, but I never really did much sky, sky watching.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out in the country, so I took a picture of some of the stars, and then I just, kept the exposure open for a long time, and I zoomed in.
So you can see them moving,
No, I saw between the constellations, I saw what, you see in these pictures that you look, there were thousands in between little dots that I picked up on my iPhone camera.
Right. Yeah.
Thousands. Like it's more stars. Like I've seen a lot of stars before, faintly.
Billions. There's billions in the Milky Way alone.
It's mind blowing how many. I mean, when you see the Milky Way, you expect there's thousands of them there, but this was not looking directly at the Milky Way.
So anyway, I think right now, our night sky is looking away from the galactic center at this time of year, I think. So the Milky Way is not particularly prominent this time of year.
It
In-
comes out in, I think, July.
Yeah, so eventually we will come around to where the night sky is pointed towards the center of the Milky Way, and we'll see more of the Milky Way.
But I saw without looking at the Milky Way, I mean, I'll show you this picture. It was just thousands of little dots in between the big dots. Like here's one dot, here's the other dot, and that space in between these two, it was like you had just took a brush and went splatter, and it's thousands.
I think right about now, there's a phenomenon called a parade of planets, where just before dawn, all the planets are in a line from Mercury to Saturn are all kind of in a line just above the horizon just before dawn, the so-called
Yeah.
parade of planets phenomenon.
Yeah, I just think people need to really think about space more, because we're moving into the space age so fast.
Yeah,
I didn't know that we were launching, what, 300 rockets this last year?
Well, Elon Musk is launching a bunch of satellites, thousands, I think. But
And
the
thousands of rockets.
yeah, but the moon landings in the next year or two, there'll be some unmanned moon landings. Preparing for the moon landings, there'll be some unmanned orbits and landings of the moon. And I think there's going to be a big upsurge in the next 2-3 years of, and maybe some more Mars stuff possibly too.
Are you saying for the Artemis mission?
Yeah, Artemis is coming up. So there's a whole series of unmanned precursors to the manned landing on the moon.
Yeah.
Within the next probably couple of years, I guess.
Well, I just mentioned the solar thing because the Large Carrington event is inevitable, and the poles are definitely moving, and they will shift. And if they happen in our lifetime, we're gonna be talking about that. I guarantee, if we can even communicate.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
So, but yeah, there's, the life won't be boring. It'll be different, but it won't be boring.
That's why I was so happy to hear this guy, Terrence Howard, that he was talking, because the stuff, he's got 97 patents, and he invented these little like drones that can fly in different direction and shift their propellers.
Yeah.
And because they're so small, you can stack them, so you can have thousands of propellers and use them as cranes. So if he can get the math right on this and the engineering right, and the proper, he said he wants to do it with hydrogen. So he's talking about, making his own little hydrogen tanks that under pressure, that I doubt he's going to get that to work. But the actual, the mass ratio for batteries is just now at the level where they're putting them in planes, and it's working. I've watched small engine planes all the way to jet planes, and then now they're, I would say within 10 years, we should have them in commercial airlines, battery powered commercial airlines.
Well, certainly drones are battery powered, so there you have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I told you yesterday, I got a weed whipper that's got 500 horsepower motor, and the battery is huge. It's heavy, but they made it out of carbon fiber, so the battery balances the front, so it's perfectly balanced with this giant battery on the back. I don't know. Have you seen these batteries lately?
Not what you're talking about. No.
You want me to grab it? You want to see it? Because it's really hard to imagine because it's so huge.
Is as big as a car battery?
All right, so here's my face. Here's the battery for the drill.
Oh yeah.
So if you have a little portable drill, the drill's tiny.
Yeah, I see the
battery. Yeah. So the battery is about this compared to my face.
Yeah.
Here's this battery, and here's the weed whipper battery.
Oh wow, that's big.
That's a big battery.
Sure is.
And I did 20 minutes, and it's still going almost the whole way. So I still have
hours.
1, 2, 3, 4. I've got another hour left on this battery.
Wow.
If it does the same as the last 20 minutes I did. But this is 56 volts.
Wow.
I
That's
mean,
a-
that's a,
Is that lithium ion?
yeah, lithium ion. I think 5-year warranty on the battery, 3 years on
Yeah.
the device. But it's, I mean, this is a game changer. This is, I can take this, stick it into another device, and it's just an inverter. And I got AC power coming off this battery.
For how long? For how? Well, I
Well,
guess what's your lighting? If it's just for light,
5 amp hours.
5 amp. Yeah, because LED lights don't draw very much power and they can put up a lot of lights. So you can
But
get
yeah, if it was for an LED light, I could do it for at least 3 nights.
probably so. Yeah.
If probably more than that. I mean, if I turned it on at 8 o'clock and turned it off at when I went to bed, I
Sure.
could probably or all the way to 1 in the morning or something, I could have light to read.
Yeah, there you go.
The reason it's so big for me, when I was living in India, that's when I did all my reading when I was 16. And I read on the top of the hotel by candlelight
Oh,
because there was no place, like I was in a hotel room with my whole family and I could read there with a flashlight or something, but it was, I just, when you're in the Himalayan mountains, like why not go on the top of the hotel roof, look out over the Himalayan mountains, and then that's a place to read.
there you go.
Like it gets you into, like, I was reading Rudyard Kipling stories in India.
But in English.
In English. Yeah. I don't speak Hindi. My parents took Hindi lessons. I didn't take Hindi lessons. The only thing I learned was how to count to 6 and how to order food.
There you go.
So,
Well,
all right, Barry. Well,
good
I
chatting
hope
with
your eye surgery is next week, or when do you got it?
no, Monday, June 10th, which is 3 weeks from tomorrow.
June 10th.
We'll do this eye.
Okay. Well, hang in there next few weeks.
I will. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. All right, Sam, we're done at 35 minutes past the second hour.